We are the future, Charles, not them.
Mankind has evolved since then.
What do they call you? Wheels?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
When they come out, does it hurt?
Every time.
You know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
You heard it up top. Kind of. We're not really talking about that.
We're not going to hear that. Yeah.
The movie. Inspired by that, of course. We're talking X-Men 2000 here on Normies Like Us this week as we start our new long-form series talking about the X-Men franchise, kicking off with the first film, of course, with your hosts. This is Colin Xavier.
Oh, Mike Nito, old friend.
I love it. I love it. I didn't think about this until just now. This is Jake Gray.
Jake Gray.
Don't
Jake
make
Marine
me go crazy.
right there.
He has 50 shades of Jake Gray.
Marine.
Yeah. I always get bothered by why Jean Grey just goes by her government name.
Right?
You know?
Everyone else, it's like, he also goes by Cyclops. And
right.
This is Jean Grey. She goes by nothing else.
When they talk about the mutant gene, they're talking about, of course, the mutant named Gene, right?
Well, I was just saying Scott Summers has 2 of the mutant genes.
Yeah, that's true.
His own and her, yeah. So anyway,
Wolverine wishes he does.
Yeah.
That's right. We're talking about the 2000 film X-Men, the one that started it all, directed by a guy named B.S.
Who we hate from like the first episode. We're ops.
That's right.
We have been hating him since like the early days. We're on 396 or something right now, but we've been known haters of BS.
We're
but it's
long-running
X-Men
haters.
time.
We've talked
unfortunately,
about,
he's very important in this franchise. Yes.
Yeah.
He's tied to it in every single way. And we have talked about, as you guys are saying, early on in these episodes, even before we kind of started this format of long form series. I remember, Jacob, you very early, even as like in your guest era, you know, when you weren't even like a host on this, being like, we should talk about the X-Men films. Those are like great or whatever. And all of us being like, yeah, but it's a lot of sex criminals.
it's a lot of sex pests, unfortunately.
Not even just BS, like the guy that replaces BS.
Yeah.
You're talking about acclaimed director of the Melania documentary? Come on.
Yeah, that's right. That one, it'd be curious to see what we're talking about when we're talking that one. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting series. Is this one of your guys' favorite film franchises? What's your kind of history with it, Jacob? If you're kind of the guy who's like pushing for it.
Well, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. I'd say it's good that we're talking about this now because number one, I think it's integral to the state of comic book movies in general. The MCU would not exist without this movie, without this franchise, and I'll talk about more reasons about why and stuff. But this really kicked off a new wave of superhero comic book movies in the 2000s and 2010s. So I think it's a very important, it may not be the best comic book franchise, but I think it's a very important one. And I do like the X-Men. I'm not like the biggest expert on X-Men.
You're not the expert?
I'm not an expert. But I do, of course, I like the animated show from the 90s. And I did see this back in the day when it came out, and it kind of changed my whole perception on, you know, superhero movies and stuff. So I think it's a very important one to talk about. And since we've done so many long form series, it's time to do the X-Men. And I think it's perfect timing. We're going to be talking about this for like a year plus probably, with Avengers Doomsday coming out in December, the final chapter of these X-Men characters before they are inevitably rebooted in the MCU. So I think it's a good time to talk about it.
Yeah, we have, this looks like 13 or 14 movies. I mean, we're not going to, there's some that we've done, but like,
wow.
If you include
like the
Deadpool
Wolverine
and
spin-offs,
Wolverine.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine is the only one I think we're not going to do because we already did an episode on it when it came out.
Yeah.
So you can go back and listen to that. But I think we will be doing Deadpool 1 and 2. We will be doing the Wolverine spin-offs. We will be doing New Mutants.
Yes. So it's, like you said, over a year. I notoriously had the nuclear hot take on the X-Men 97 episode that growing up I did not like the show because I didn't like the theme song,
That's
which
right.
is insane.
One of the best.
I've come
theme
around
songs.
on it.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I used to not eat tomatoes either. Like, your taste can change, and I had bad taste at that age.
I was a tomato hater as well as a kid.
Well, there we go. But
Still don't
Yeah,
like
you were a tomato, you said?
tomato.
I was a tomato. Tomato
I had
Town, no thanks. I'm not going there.
I had the
Unfortunately.
tomato hating mutant gene, I guess.
Yeah.
But X-Men, like I'm also historically someone who has like I don't rewatch the MCU movies. I know Doomsday is going to be a big thing that I'll watch, but I don't really go crazy for the comic book genre. I love my Spider-Man movies, which comes a little bit later, but I'm intrigued to do the archaeology. I'm excited to do the work. And looking at the list, I haven't seen most of these, to be fair.
Wait, have you've seen the first three, I assume, or
I've seen the original trilogy, I believe, maybe First Class, and then kind of
Days of
X-Men
Future Past?
Origins and Logan and maybe Deadpool. I've seen half, I guess. I haven't seen a lot of the Fassbender era, like
Wow.
3/4.
That's
So
going to
I'm
be
excited to
exciting
do that.
to revisit. And Colin, maybe our unofficial X-Men expert, knowing the most about Marvel and X-Men lore. So, Colin, what's your history with that?
Yeah.
Since Joe's
If
not-
Joe's dead, yeah, I was gonna say that would make sense. Yeah, I love the X-Men. The X-Men have basically been in my life, I feel like, forever. My father was an early comic book collector, and basically the rarest comics he had in his collection were X-Men #4, which was like the secret origin of Charles Xavier, I believe, with the cover ripped off. So I feel like I've been cosmically aware of them. This was a film that I certainly saw in theaters and that I adored. I've certainly seen all the films endlessly over and over and had thoughts about them. Watched all the animated series, have interesting takes where I'm like, have a favorite mutant, which I think we all do. And certainly this time, and I think we'll definitely get into it, but I was certainly watching it this time and being like, the whole time watching this being like, Marvel Rivals, the greatest.
Yes, we also have news with Marvel Rivals where we have Cyclops coming out
Yay!
We're getting
next
our boy.
month as the new character, so very relevant there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I don't know.
and I'm on the record, like if I came into the room and the theme song was finished, I like the show. I have a favorite mutant. I like the X-Men as a property. I played a lot of X-Men Legends 2. Like I have a lot of love for this franchise and these characters. So I'm excited to kind of go back to the movie that started it all, So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and first of all, I'm a big fan of the X-Men theme song. We were talking about Dark Synapse or whatever from Mortal Kombat last week.
Oh,
This is a better song than the Mortal Kombat song.
Techno Syndrome, you
Techno
fool!
Syndrome.
Dark Synapse, who is that?
That's an X-Man. Yeah.
That's
should
my
be, yeah.
X-Men name. Yeah, absolutely.
Dark Synapse.
My villain name.
I also want to mention, so I've seen all of these movies except, I think I mentioned this before, I have never seen Dark Phoenix,
Wow.
and I've never
Game of
seen
Thrones,
New
man.
Mutants. Yeah. So
Sure.
maybe the two most recent ones, Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, other
That's
than Deadpool
crazy.
and Wolverine, I never got around to seeing those. And I think I disliked Apocalypse so much that I'm like, well, I'm done with this franchise. I won't be seeing Dark Phoenix.
You're saying the names of these films, Jacob, and
Yeah.
as you're keying up the films that we're going to be watching over a year, I'm being reminded what films we're going to be watching over
Yes.
this year. It's
Yeah.
so scary to me.
It gets to a point, yeah. I mean, there's ups and downs. We'll talk about it all.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see Dark Phoenix for the first time. Sansa Stark. I'm excited to see New Mutants. Arya Stark for
Right.
the first time.
Stark contrast.
Yeah, I was just checked out at that point, and then we'll have to see how those pan out. But today we're talking about the 2000 film X-Men,
Yes.
the one that
And
started it all.
it's cool to begin on the journey of a franchise that kind of, it's just like its own little thing. Like we're so used to the MCU and that house style and stuff like that. And this is kind of its own deal. So I am excited, and it was fun to rewatch this. It was cozy, I suppose. But yeah.
And I think and we'll talk about it more after the jump, but I think it's important to consider the context in which this movie was made, the context in which, superhero movies at the time were what they were and what they became in the 2000s. Again, this movie really did change it all. Even before Spider-Man, Sam
Right,
Raimi's Spider-Man. This movie preceded that.
some motherfucker ice skated uphill and Blade walked
Right.
so that this could exist, and then Spider-Man. So we were right in that pocket where we're figuring it out. And
Yeah.
this is kind of a big addition for that.
Yo, can I throw it out real quick?
Yeah.
Should our bonus episode be Blade?
I would love that. I would fucking
That would
love
be great.
that. But then we're getting
That's
into
fucking
trilogy.
hilarious. He's in Deadpool and Wolverine. He's like counts as one of those.
He's part of the universe.
characters.
We do
I
need to
almost
talk
don't
it.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
almost
Blade
don't
did
know.
lead to this movie, which I can also
Yeah.
talk about, because in the late 90s, of course, you had some failures, some box office failures. You had Batman and Robin, Joel Schumacher, ruining the Batman franchise, according to some people. So superhero movies were kind of at a nadir. And then Blade came out, did pretty well, and they thought, well, maybe we can make more of these movies. And so that did lead directly to X-Men. So I'd love to do Blade, even though Blade 2 is better than Blade 1.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll
buddy.
never do the Blade. We're never. One of our long form series isn't going to be the 3 Blade films.
That's
Like,
not
I feel like
long.
we could very easily just be like, let's just talk about the first one.
Daywalker Summer.
Yeah. But last thing I want to mention before we head over is new long form series, and I've decided we should bring back the quiz. So I've made a little quiz for the end of our podcast.
Yo.
We took a break with the Hayao Miyazaki long form series, but we've done this, obviously for Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, Pirates of the Caribbean. And so I decided to bring the quiz back, and so we will be doing a little quiz at the end of this podcast.
I'm excited for that. We are at the
So
Xavier
happy.
School for Gifted Podcasters, so we should be studious
right.
and we should be taking our tests seriously. So that's very cool. I
My
got a
mutant
question
power is
love
knowing trivia. Yeah.
before we jump in, though. Yes, favorite mutant. Colin, what was your favorite mutant growing up? Or do you have a couple?
Colossus. I'm
nice.
super pro Colossus, and I've said
Colin's a big
before, if I could
Colossus
have
fan.
any mutants powers, it would be Angel. Which
just-
Jacob has, of course, said that's dumb because other mutants can fly. To which I say, yeah, but they
Yes,
don't
you don't
have
need big
cool
wings.
I
Right.
want big wings. I'm
Yes.
pro big wings, dogs. But how about
That's
you guys?
funny.
For me, I think I've mentioned it before. I was always a big Magneto guy. I think Magneto is one of the best mutants. He has a very cool power, and also just if you get into the nitty gritty of what his power can actually do, he's obviously one of the strongest mutants. And also recently, and this has partially to do with my Marvel rival playing right now, I've been getting really into magic. Colossus's sister. So I'm very into magic now. I'm kind of obsessed with magic. Yeah.
What part of her body are you specifically obsessed with?
Oh, really? All of it.
Her sword, I
Oliver?
think.
No, I think
Yeah, her
magic
sword,
is a
absolutely.
great character. She's very fun to play in Marvel Rivals, and I think she's the best.
Well, you're going to be really excited when we get to New Mutants and get to see your
Yeah,
favorite character
I
and
am.
Star of the
Something
Gorge.
In a year and a half, dog. You're gonna Star of the Gorge.
We love the Gorge.
I'm
folks.
sorry, Andy, I did you
All right.
dirty there.
Well, before we jump over, I want to say real quick that if you're not,
Well, who did Mike
watching
say is
these-
his favorite?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go.
No,
go
all
ahead,
good.
please.
I was also a fellow advocate for Big Wings. I liked Archangel, the post-apocalypse turn. I like a purple suit. He looked pretty cool. He had metal fucking
Edgy.
knife feathers. Yeah, he was edgy. So yeah, I liked Archangel. And I'm a Colossus guy too, so we're kind of aligned in that way.
You guys like Colossus. You like Russian accents. I also want to say, in addition to Magneto, from the cartoon, I also loved Gambit and I loved Nightcrawler. So those are two of my other favorites.
That's like being like, who are your favorite X-Men? The X-Men, the coolest characters ever made. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm there with you too. Like, it feels so generic to be like, who do I like? Wolverine. I like Cyclops. I
It
like-
is the
it's like,
greatest
yeah,
superhero team ever. Like fuck the Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm Team X-Men.
Are
would agree.
they the best thing Marvel has ever made?
I'd
Marvel,
say yeah.
yes. I would put as
Spider-Man.
the DC kid, I gotta put Justice League. You got Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. I put that up against X-Men any day as a DC fan, but
Wow.
X-Men are pretty good for Marvel.
You're definitely the best team. Yeah, I'm actually now I'm super stoked. Like I'm more stoked to watch more X-Men movies than I am to watch Avengers Doomsday. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to roll straight into number 2 after this, so I think I'm ready to roll into
Right.
talking about number 1 if you guys
Well,
are.
Before, Before we do, real quick, I want to say, if you are not watching these episodes, I always got to call it out that Mike is doing these cool emblems on his microphone. We talked about it off pod, but you've been 3D printing these.
So I have just the
Got the
X-Men
X-Men.
symbol this time. It's very simple. But what really, I realized that I could have 3D printed some Wolverine claws. So maybe X-Men
Pretty
2,
cool.
I'll get my act together, you know.
Getting pre-crib. Well, I would almost say next, what should we do? You should really do a tour of the ones you have done for all our episodes. Because if people haven't been like listening to every episode, or maybe if they're not watching, they don't see your collection behind you. But we've been enjoying it as fans.
That's true. I'll do
Very
a show
cool.
and tell. I design them up and print them. It's a fun little gimmick. So
If you could make some retractable claws for next episode, and I'll say, does it hurt when they come out? And then you'll say, every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. Hell
Did
yeah.
you guys know? This is a huge discovery I made watching this movie. Did you guys know the star of The Sheep Detective has starred in other movies?
What? The star of the
Loves
Sheep
the
Detective?
Sheep Detective. Hugh
That's so
Jackman.
weird. That's so weird. I didn't.
is weird.
What's his name? I think his name is Handsome Sheep Man.
Oh, I thought it was Huge Jacked Man, but I guess that'll
Huge
come later.
He's a huge jacked man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. School
Let's-
class is
should we
in
jump over?
session. To me, my normies. Let's do it. X-Men, year 2000. Right after this.
We're back here on Normies Like Us. We're shooting beams. We're flying through the sky. We're pulling objects to us because we're the X-Men. We're talking X-Men 2000, which I feel like is a handy subtitle for this episode because another question I'll pose to you guys before we jump in and certainly leading to the discussion of how this film was made. Is this the most 2000s movie ever made?
Ooh.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
I think so. It is very 2000.
It's also likely the only X-Men movie with the World Trade Centers in it.
Oh,
Which, remember, Spider-Man, they had to remove the key art.
was
Like
in
the
the
poster
ad.
was literally catching that. So I when I was watching this, there's like a postcard of New York. They're in New York for the finale, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, so it puts it in a place and time. Like, it is the most 2000s movie, literally.
It's
I guess.
too bad that Magneto and his mutant
Gang.
terrorists took the towers out.
Did you know that Blade? Did you know Blade was on United 93? He tried to stop it.
Oh no! Get these motherfucking
Yeah.
vampires off my motherfucking plane.
Like skating up this goddamn plane.
Yep.
Yeah, so this movie came out in the year 2000. There's this thing called Y2K. I don't know if you guys remember that. Everyone
Right.
thought the computers were going to go haywire and everything was going to get crazy.
So everything is computer. Like, we're getting, even right from the jump, it's like the title sequence is so over the top, like digital. Like, it is 2000s the movie. Yeah,
Right.
for sure. Halle Berry at
again-
the height of her powers.
The effects. Oh my god. But
Halle
kind
Berry.
of, but kind of not.
But
I mean,
kinda,
we'll talk
yeah.
about that too.
Well, I want to
sure,
talk about
yeah.
the casting and the different parts
Yeah.
and
Yes.
stuff.
Absolutely.
But so what led to this movie, again, I just want to mention, so obviously the late 90s were kind of a nadir for the superhero comic book genre. Of course, we had the Batman movies going sort of downhill with the Joel Schumacher movies.
We had Spawn.
We had Spawn. We had Steel, 1997.
Oh.
Spawn, 1997. Batman and Robin, also 1997. So, but with the release of Blade,
Steel's our bonus episode.
still could be. But the release of Blade led the producers to be like, you know what? Let's go ahead with this movie.
Mhm.
And I want to give you some facts about what led to this movie, because originally there was a treatment being made in the early 90s, in like 92, where it was going to be Catherine Bigelow directing, James Cameron producing, and it was going to star Bob Hoskins as Wolverine and Angela Bassett as Storm.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's
really?
a pretty cool idea for Storm from that era. I like that. Bob Hoskins. I
Angela
don't know
Bassett
about
would have been
that.
great. Well, Bob Hoskins maybe would have been a more comic accurate look of just like a short, stocky guy, very hairy Wolverine. So I can
That's
kind of
true.
see the vision there. Yeah.
Goblin mode, yeah. I could see that.
But eventually it led to, so the producer Lauren Schuler Donner, married to Richard Donner of Superman fame,
Mhm.
of course.
Why this whole time have I thought it was a father-daughter situation? What a fool am I?
Yeah, I think she probably was younger than Richard Donner in that he passed away in
I was gonna
2021.
say, in that she's still alive and manages this, and I've seen her, and she seems
Yes.
quite young. And
Hmm.
Richard
Well,
Donner, kind of
she's
a
in the
famous
in
old
her
man.
70s.
There
But
we
Yeah.
she was basically the executive producer who led to the X-Men series being made. Now, part of my thesis of this is, why did this lead directly to the MCU, this movie specifically? Well,
Hmm.
Lauren Schuler Donner had an assistant that she made associate producer on this movie due to his knowledge of X-Men and comic book lore. And that assistant, what was his name? Kevin Feige.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
Kevin Feige was her assistant who worked on You Got Mail and some other movies that she made in the 90s, and then was promoted to associate producer on this film due to his knowledge of X-Men. And from this movie, he got a job with Marvel Studios and
Hmm.
basically realized, so although Spider-Man, X-Men, and Blade were licensed to Sony, 20th Century Fox, and New Line Cinema,
Right.
the other Marvel characters that make up the Avengers, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, etc., were not licensed by these companies. So he said, why don't we make a connected universe Avengers movie series?
Hmm.
And that led directly to the MCU with Iron Man in 2008.
That's true because this is kind of an area where Marvel Comics and stuff was kind of like suffering. Am I right? So they were just like, we need to license to whoever. They were really piecemealing out the stuff.
Yeah.
So to have the
So of
vision
course
to say, yeah.
you had Spider-Man. So Spider-Man came out 2003. So
Hmm.
the success of this movie led to Spider-Man being greenlit, Hulk being greenlit, the Ang Lee Hulk, and
Hmm.
Daredevil, Ben Affleck Daredevil,
Yep.
all being made, and eventually led to the creation of the MCU with Iron Man and also the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
Right. And this is a time period like we are talking right now. Fox's X-Men. This isn't the Disney merger. This isn't
Right.
Marvel being owned by Disney. We're very much, you know, separate companies at
Yes.
this point. Different era.
Right. So very interesting. Kevin Feige got his start basically working on this movie, got his start in
Well,
comic book movies. Yeah.
and you know why I knew
Hmm.
that, Jacob? You know who loves to tell that story when they are on the talk show circuit? Hugh Jackman, who loves to say,
Sure.
"Oh, the biggest franchise in the world, blah, blah, blah. You know who started all that? This guy right here. Oh, the guy who runs that mega billion Hollywood machine? You mean little Kevin, the guy who used to, like fetch me my coffees on set and like
Right.
pull my hair up more to look more like Wolverine or whatever?
Right.
It's like, like he's just been in the game for so fucking long.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you think, where did this Kevin Feige guy come from? All of a sudden, he's the president of Marvel Studios and he's in charge of the whole MCU. Well, this is where he got to start. And it's
Well,
crazy to think that in the late 90s, you could just be a big comic book nerd and basically become a producer from that because you're the assistant to Lauren Schuler
you
Donner and then get
Jacob,
promoted
you
that way.
could go the strange, odd other way, which is that Richard Donner, who I'm now understanding was the husband, had his assistant, who was basically the rival assistant to Kevin Feige. I don't know if you guys know this.
Mm.
Hmm.
Jeff Johns, DC
Oh,
content
yes.
head and
Wow.
writer of basically every major DC crossover in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
Big DC
huge
guy.
creative force.
Well, then
Yeah.
there's
So I
That's
mean,
interesting.
another.
Yeah.
DC or Marvel, baby.
Right, and then the man who bridges both of those sides, this script went through like Joss Whedon rights at a certain point,
Yes.
which
That was something
also
else I was
another bad guy,
going to bring
but
up.
sorry to
Yeah, I
cut
wanted to talk
your
about
legs
Joss
out.
Whedon. No, that's okay. Because of course this movie was written it was written by a couple people. Obviously, screenplay credited to David Hayter, which
Who
I'm
was,
sure Mike you're going to talk about as
well,
well.
just another assistant. He was the assistant to Bryan Singer, who was a nerd, and
Yes.
they were like, "You know a lot about this. Touch up the script."
That's what the connection was? That's crazy.
So a lot of
Yeah,
assistants assisting because they were nerds, I guess.
right. Basically, in the 90s, you could just be a huge comic book nerd and get a job in movies that way. Now it's like, you know, because it's so mainstream now, everyone knows like comic book lore. But if
Well, I
only we
still
could have
think
been
about
born.
like
There's like brand Bibles
Yeah.
now.
even to this day, like Dan Harmon has that guy Steve Levy, who Jacob we used to listen to Harmontown, was just his assistant forever, and now he's executive producer of every season of Rick and Morty. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
not a bad life.
Right.
Not a
guess-
bad life to be an assistant and to one day be a zillionaire.
Yeah, I need to assist more.
Yeah.
I think the most recent kind of jump in that level is like Dave Filoni being like, "Oh, you know a lot about Star Wars, right?" Like, you run
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys pranking me? No, it's a real
Right.
job. You should be in charge. Oh shit!
Can I wear my hat? You sure can, Dave.
That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah, it used to just be easier, like you could just go from assistant to producer, but now it's like I
God.
feel like it's just different now.
Yeah.
We used to just have everything white guys, didn't we?
Ah, man.
we just
We
used to
had it
have it
all.
all,
So much
didn't we? God damn.
Damn it.
But not us, not the three of us. We've literally
No.
never had anything.
No,
this
we've
good.
never
We were
had
born
it.
20 years too late.
Except I will tell a story that I did work on a movie set with the guy who plays Senator Roberts in this movie, Bruce Davison.
Hey,
Senator
okay.
Kelly.
And I'm sorry, Senator Kelly. Thank you, Jacob.
Yes.
And he was not nice.
Oh,
really?
no.
No.
Bruce
That's
Davison,
sad.
who Bryan Singer knew from his work in an earlier movie that he did with
Apt
Bryan Singer,
People?
I think.
Mm.
Apt People, that's right. Yes. But so basically, like I said, there was the Catherine Bigelow, James Cameron treatment that was getting worked on in the 90s. Eventually that got dropped because actually James Cameron was interested in Spider-Man for a little bit. That didn't pan out either. Obviously, he eventually did make Aquaman starring Vince what's his name?
Streety Vins. I don't even watch that show and I know that joke.
It's an Entourage reference.
Okay.
In the show Entourage, James Cameron makes Aquaman starring the main character of
That
Vinny
went right over my
Chase.
head.
Vinny Chase. Yeah.
Got it.
I call him Vinny Streets.
So eventually, X-Men got brought up again with Lauren Schuler Donner purchasing the rights for the X-Men and hiring different people to work on the script. Eventually, Bryan Singer and Tom DeSanto were doing a treatment. Then David Hayter came on and did a treatment, as well as Christopher McQuarrie worked on the script as well. Christopher McQuarrie, who wrote, of course, The Usual Suspects, Bryan Singer's earlier film, and is now best known for Mission Impossible
That's
and
right.
working with Tom Cruise.
No, I don't think Christopher McQuarrie, he doesn't attach himself to weirdos, does he? you must be thinking of
He's
somebody else. I don't know
the
what you're
Tom
talking
Cruise
about.
whisperer, because now Tom Cruise, on every project that Tom Cruise does, he's like, well, let's get Chris McQuarrie in here to get his thoughts. So it feels like Tom Cruise just trusts this guy more than anyone. But like you said, David Hayter credited as the screenwriter, although other people did work on it, and it's kind of questionable how much he
Right.
of the story is David Hayter's, how much of it is McQuarrie's and other people's, but at least 55% of the story is David Hayter's, I believe, which is why he got the screenplay
WGA.
credit.
Well, he
Arbitration, all that stuff. Yeah.
much like Johnny Cage, he won a Saturn Award for the screenplay, regardless of total contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And David Hayter, of course, best known as the voice of Solid Snake until 5. Yeah.
Now,
Well,
why is that? How is he an assistant? How did he write the film X-Men, and how is he Solid Snake, might I ask?
Well, he was Solid Snake before X-Men, because he was Solid Snake in 1998 for the 1998 video game Metal Gear
PS1.
Solid.
Yeah. Well, so he was doing acting and voice acting before. I don't know how he got linked up with Bryan Singer, but here's the fun fact: he did the voice of Lupin III in the Castle of Cagliostro.
Oh, in the
American
English version?
dub. That was David Hayter. It was Lupin himself.
Did we watch that version? No, I think I watched the Japanese.
I watched the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I guess I'd like to rewatch it.
yeah,
That's
I guess.
interesting.
So I don't know how he was the assistant. Heard he was getting like $500 a day to just, I don't know, do shit. And they're like, "Oh, you're a comic
That's
book
crazy.
nerd. Get in here." It makes me
Yeah.
question if he new things. Like, I don't want to think that about David Hayter, Solid Snake. Like, did he know about Bryan Singer's shit as his assistant? I'm
That's
hoping
just
not.
Hollywood for you.
I don't
Damn,
think, yeah,
crazy.
I don't know. I feel like
Well, I do have some.
He
facts
hasn't
about
had any
when they were
scandal,
making the film.
so
sure.
But yeah, so he wrote the film as we mentioned, Joss Whedon came on for some rewrites. Joss Whedon, who came on, and they didn't end up using most of his contributions because they essentially thought it was too pop culture referencey.
right.
He
People
was brought on
don't
to
like
rewrite the last act. He was highly critical of the script and instead performed a major overhaul. Whedon's draft featured the Danger Room and concluded with Jean Grey dressed as the Phoenix. The screenplay was rejected because of its quote quick-witted pop culture referencing tone. And the finished film contained only 2 dialogue exchanges that Whedon had contributed. One of them being what happens when a toad is struck by lightning.
Yes.
You can kind of tell that that's a Joss Whedon bit there.
Yeah.
So Hayter was brought on for rewrites. He retained many of the core elements from the source material. The studio wanted to make Wolverine American, but Hayter retained his Canadian background. So yeah, a lot of different people worked on it, but that's what ended up happening. And Bryan Singer was brought on to direct. So let's talk about the cast, right?
Correct. Yes.
Of course, we have Patrick Stewart. We have Sir Ian McKellen. We have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. We have
Shepherd George, I think his name is.
the Sheep's Detective. We have Famke Janssen as Jean Grey. We have Halle Berry as Aurora Monroe, aka Storm. And we have James Marsden as Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, and we have Anna Paquin as Rogue.
And maybe Sean Ashmore, honorable
Sean
mention.
Ashmore.
Hey,
Rebecca
Mike
Romaine.
Throwman. Hey, Mike, do me a favor. Go
I'll throw him
ahead,
in.
throw Sean Ashmore's Iceman.
Just because he'll be back.
Go,
Just because he'll be
you
back.
go ahead, throw Rebecca Romaine in there. She's
Hey,
back too.
Throw
She's
Rebecca
in
Romaine
there.
in. Ray Park, and
Number
can't
one.
forget about Tyler Mane, your favorite Michael
Tyler
Myers.
Mane. That's right. Tyler Mane as Sabretooth. We have Ray Park as Toad. But I want to talk about some of the main ones. So, of course,
Yes.
Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Legendary casting.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. Like, I have maybe some problems with some of these castings. Like, I don't think they're all home runs. But these two, Professor Charles Xavier, Eric Lensher, Magneto, I mean, just total home runs, these two. Like,
So
I could not imagine
what if
anyone
you
else in these
had-
parts. Yeah.
And obviously he's not yet because we don't have Gandalf yet. But what if you had what is essentially the titans of sci-fi and fantasy, Picard and Gandalf,
Yes.
portray the 2 comic book characters in the Marvel universe, like the 2 dudes to face off. And you're like, oh, as a nerd, couldn't get
Yes.
harder.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting because I think, like both of these guys, this is not what I consider their number one role in their career. Like you said, like I think of Jean-Luc Picard for Patrick Stewart. I think of Gandalf for Ian McKellen, but they embody these roles so much. I couldn't imagine anyone else as Professor X other than Patrick Stewart.
And yet, Jacob, as you said to set up this episode, we know from 3 weird trailers released, the next Avengers movie is basically still all about these 2 guys. Like, that's
Two
so
old
great.
men. 2 men who were already old 26 years ago. Now super old.
26 years ago.
Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
remember when I played the version of me with dementia? Now I really have it. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully they're both still with us. I mean, I know they're
Ian
very
McKellen
Ian
keeps
McKellen is
falling.
insanely
He's
old.
like
Yeah.
he's like the man made of glass. He's like invincible. He is Samuel L. Jackson. Like it is so close.
He's
to
a
him
national
just being,
treasure. He's a
like,
world treasure.
Yeah.
obliterated. But he keeps doing live theater and falling off
Yes.
the stage. And people are
Oh.
like, we keep putting more reflective tape down, but he just like walks right over it.
We need to stop
And-
telling him to
and,
break a leg.
Obviously, they became lifelong friends to the point where they've done stage work together. They Patrick Stewart was the best man at Ian McKellen's wedding a couple years ago when he got married.
It is dumb for us to single out that like the thing that they are known for is those two nerdy things when truly they are titans of the
It's
theatrical
storied
industry
careers,
since
yes.
the
That's their
70s,
favorite.
80s. You know, I mean, that is
Shakespearean
just,
actors.
they are two of the most lauded actors to ever be on screen. You know, Laurence Olivier style actors.
Like
Yes.
thespians
As
for real.
a guy in a wheelchair and an old guy who moves things with his hands.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Patrick Stewart obviously had a very unusual break into film in that he, like you said, he did stage for a long time in England, did Shakespeare, wasn't really a movie actor or a TV actor until he
Covered
took
Life
on Star
Force
Trek.
on this podcast.
Yes.
Like,
Life
Force,
made
great
us talk
movie.
about that movie in a
David
Dune.
Lynch's
Halloween
Dune.
spectacular.
Yeah.
We talked about Dune on this
Podcast.
podcast. How dare you?
Yep.
But obviously he took on the role of Captain Jean-Luc Picard for TV, so he did that for 7 years.
Movies.
And then accepted this role, and then sort of became a major American star in American cinema. And Ian McKellen, the same way, like he was obviously in a bunch of stuff, but maybe wasn't a huge household name until the 90s or 2000s.
And to
With
get
obviously
this,
Lord of the Rings as well. Yeah.
correct, but to get this right, because in the X-Men universe, like the relationship between Charles Xavier and Eric Leshner is the
that's
heartbeat.
the core of it all.
It's the the metaphor for MLK and Malcolm X and stuff, and like
Yes. The
if
two
you
ways
don't get
to
that right,
approach
none of it works. Yeah.
civil rights of which obviously mutants in this movie, it's an allegory for a lot of things. It's an allegory for LGBT rights, civil rights, any
rights.
oppressed group fighting for their rights, right? And you have the Magneto, Malcolm X, you have the Professor X, MLK,
Mhm.
and the sort of philosophical debate between
Peaceful resistance, or be a little more aggressive about it, so to speak.
them. Yes.
Yeah.
By any means necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, again, I was always a Magneto fan because I'm like, hell yeah, like Magneto, it's my guy by any means necessary.
X-Men
sometimes-
97.
Masters.
He's like, I told you.
Really
I told you guys.
Yeah.
Not fucking around.
And again, he's so good in this movie. Ian McKellen has just an incredible aura to him as Magneto.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll have to see what you think of, obviously the younger actors that take over these roles later, James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. We'll have to get your opinion, Mike, on
Mm-hmm.
how they can compare to these two legends. But they're really the heart of the film. And then, of course, you have Hugh Jackman, a relatively unknown actor at the time, as Wolverine.
Yeah.
Now, what's your guys' thoughts on this?
Well, I know like this is like his first major American movie, and he was like a last minute ad, but like
Yeah.
he's iconic. Like he's been playing the character for 20 years, but to see him in the first outing, like and that he's less jacked than he is as like a 58-year-old man or whatever, it's like it's kind of
Yeah.
weird to see a scaled back.
It is interesting to see
Wolverine.
the progress of
Yeah.
how jacked man he gets over time. And that's sort of emblematic of the change in how male action heroes' bodies
Mhm.
are, with the rise of, maybe some other performance enhancing things.
We're in the realm of realism-ish, like the
Yeah.
average dude could achieve this kind of thing.
It's
and
amazing
that's
to see
strange
how
to
less-
now.
Yeah, how less jacked man he is in this movie, although still very obviously, very
He's in
muscular.
good shape.
Yeah,
Just as a
Hasn't met The
human
Rock
being.
yet.
Yeah, he hasn't met The Rock yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing that character evolve as we go through this journey too, because it's like always him,
yeah.
Um,
And then you have your core X-Men cast of Cyclops, Storm, and Jean Grey being James Marsden, Halle Berry, and Famke Janssen.
And are these the best castings?
See, this is where I have somewhat of a problem. Halle Berry, who I think is obviously a very beautiful woman, is good in other movies. I don't think she's the best pick for Storm. I don't think, especially in this movie, doesn't have much to do as Storm and doesn't really fit the Storm. Like Angela Bassett in the 90s would have been a way better Storm, I think. Halle Berry just doesn't have that persona of Storm to me.
Angela Bassett doing her Wakanda accent.
Oh man, yeah, dude. Because we're missing that kind of regal vibe of that Storm should have.
I think
literally
Halle Berry just plays it more
goddess.
passive. Yeah, like in the X-Men lore, Storm is one of the most powerful mutants out there.
Yeah,
and in this movie, it's just like she's just kind of there, does some lightning powers sometimes, but you don't get that importance that she had even in the animated show in the 90s. So it's just like she's almost like an afterthought in this movie. So I'm a little disappointed, but I do love Halle Berry though. Like she's good in other things, so I don't.
She doesn't get a lot for this. I can't really remember the other two movies that well. I haven't seen them in probably 15 years, so I'm not sure. But the action in general in this movie, it's like interesting how scaled back everything is compared to what we're used to now. So everything is kind of just dialed down, I think, to what we've gotten used to in modern years, which I like. I kind of enjoy that vibe switch, but
again, I think you have to understand the context in which it was made. Like it's totally different now how comic book movies are made and what's expected of them. In this movie, it feels a lot more grounded. I mean, there's some special effects that didn't age great, maybe. And I think with some of these, again, also with Cyclops, James Marsden, a fine actor, but feels kind of stiff. And I never liked Cyclops in the 2000s because I was like, this guy kind of sucks. Like, I don't like him in these movies.
He's not a great.
I think Cyclops has been sort of rehabilitated in recent years with X-Men 97 and stuff.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of seeing the potential of Cyclops as a character. But in these movies, I was never a fan.
But not helping them is James Marsden, literally his only credits before these being soap operas and stuff. You know, like literally, not to say again that Bryan Singer is a bit of a type chaser when it comes to some of his casting, but he is someone Ryan Murphy-esque who will be like, I saw a hot dude on the street. I think he should play the lead in my movie. And you're like, what? He's not an actor.
We're casting a jawline and a mouth. Yeah, like.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we like James Marsden now. We love him in Sonic, of course.
Tom, guy with the last name.
The Donut Lord.
The Donut Lord. Yes. Thank you. Put respect on him.
Let's jump into some first thoughts here and initial reactions before we kind of hit this plot running. Because I'm loving this tone that you guys are talking about. Jacob, you're talking about sort of the datedness of it. We've brought up a lot of the 2000s. Mike, you used the word comfortable and just like that this feels just like, just very like homey, just like just a nice, peaceful, warm movie. To me, on this viewing, I was like stunned by how quaint I found this film. I mean, this film feels small, intimate. It almost feels like a character drama. I mean, there is like one battle scene at the end where they kind of do some shit that's like kind of cool, but even that looks like insane, as we've said. But you're really
that's the thing.
You're just wrapped up in how far things have come.
Yeah,
like, it's so crazy.
I kind of yearn for this time almost. Like that's how I feel watching it. It's like
a simpler time. And I sort of get
checking my AIM instant messages while watching this on DVD a lot. Like there's like a lot of that wrapped up in my mind, guys. Like my dad having like a pager at this time. Like I'm just living my past. Yeah.
You wouldn't steal a car.
Again, it was a different time, a simpler time for us. We were I was 10 years old when this movie came out. And it's like you said, it's sort of scaled back, but I think it's a good intro to these characters, if nothing else. Like it introduces you to this world and these characters and sets everything up. The plot of this movie isn't like anything amazing. Like Magneto's plot is like kind of whatever. And like there's a big third act thing, but it's like it's really important just setting up these characters.
There's a lot of stuff that as a kid I was like, it's actually really smart. Like, it's actually really clever that, like, they never say which mutant Magneto's after if you think about it. But now as an adult, I'm like, all right, David Hayter, like you telegraph it so much. You literally have Patrick Stewart be like, maybe she or he's not the mutant Magneto's looking for. And then 2 scenes
Right.
later, he's like, don't go outside, Wolverine. You're the mutant Magneto's looking for. Like,
Yeah.
Charles, what are you talking about?
But again, I think if you consider the context in which it was made, it was like they didn't know how far to lean into certain comic book things. Like they wanted it to be more realistic, and especially coming off some of these very bombastic, Batman and Robin, Joel Schumacher,
Yeah.
colorful, campy, nipples on the bat suit kind of thing. They're like, okay,
Right.
we want more grounded. What about their classic yellow and blue suits? No, we're gonna go with black leather.
After the Matrix, yeah, they're like, yeah, let's do a
that's
cool
right.
Blade 2. It's like, let's do something cool and leathery.
Yeah, very 2000s. To me, it's like this movie and Daredevil 2003 is like represents the look of comic book movies in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Spider-Man a little bit different because it's a little more colorful and stuff.
Sam
But this
Raimi's
movie
going
very
more comic.
dark.
It's
Very
it's
dark cinematography in a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I like that it is so like it feels small, like Colin said, like, and it's approachable, and I think it is kind of goofy comic book because the plot isn't crazy. It's just like, I'm gonna turn all the senators into mutants, and I'm going to the Statue of Liberty to do it. Like, it's very Saturday morning cartoon plot.
So crazy.
I like that. I like that it's kind of goofy, but
pretty basic
maybe
in
on
terms of, like, his
accident.
plan. But again, just setting up these characters and their perspectives is, like, I think the most important thing going forward. And then the later movie, it's like you said, right after watching this movie, you want to jump into X2 because I think X2 kind of expands on these characters more, and you just want to see more of them.
We'll see where we net out overall on it, but I don't think this will be the best X-Men movie when we rank them all, but I think it does the job of getting you excited to see more. Like, I was ready to go. I was like, okay, this is a world I'm interested in. You've piqued my interest. Let's go. So I appreciate that about it too.
And again, very cozy feel, like when they're at the mansion, like it just it takes me back, man. I wish I could visit the X-Men mansion and hang out with my friends, Cyclops, and
it's just gonna be such a bummer, like when any of these people die. Like, that's all I could think the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be probably
let's not say it out loud. There's a lot of other people that can go before them I can think of top of mind, but we're not getting into that. But you said the casting of the main, like, Xavier and Magneto is important, but like this movie has like 3 locations. Like, think about the casting of the location scouting. Like, that mansion, it's so iconic. Like, it's like Hogwarts for mutants. Like, it feels so like good.
It makes you want to go to mutant school and hang out with your mutant friends. And fun fact about this mansion location, the mansion that they shot at is the same one used in Billy Madison, as well as Luthor Mansion in Supernatural and Oliver Queen's mansion in the Green Arrow show.
I didn't know that. That is a fun fact. So it's DC and Marvel. How about that?
Yeah, and it's Billy Madison's mansion.
That's important.
That's the most important. The Sandler Cinematic Universe.
But let's jump into the
mansion from a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I push him down the stairs.
I do want to say before we jump into the plot here, I wanted to read a little bit about the filming of this movie with BS, our favorite or our least favorite. There are some problems on the set of this movie. I'm going to read to you a little bit about Singer on the set of this movie. During production, Singer would allegedly arrive late and experience mood swings and explosive tantrums. At the time, Singer claimed to be taking medication for back pain. Cast and crew members found Singer's drug use to be, quote, problematic. Kevin Feige was flown on set to ensure that Singer was kept in line. Singer was also accused of giving small roles to younger actors and minors in exchange for sex.
Right.
A source for Pyro actor Alex Burton says Burton was told the role was created for him by Singer. Burton was flown from Los Angeles to Toronto for filming, an unusual occurrence for an actor with a minor role.
Yeah, and there's a reason he does not reprise his role in the second movie, because some bad shit probably went down.
Good. That's no good.
That's no good.
Apparently, the story meetings were, quote, unprofessional even by eccentric auteur standards, with Singer allegedly bringing, quote, young guys who were not involved with the project to the meetings. Singer also banned comics on set, and Kevin Feige had to sneak them in for the actors to understand their roles. So,
Jesus Christ. So he picks somebody up, and then he says, hey, I'm doing a movie. Want to come to the meeting? I'm a director. I can do whatever I want. Like, what the fuck, dude? That's wild.
So he's obviously abusing his power for a long time.
I guess, like, why? Like, I guess, like, why put up with that? I understand that.
Why put up with that?
The Usual Suspect was like a huge film. Again, he did not write that film. Christopher McQuarrie did and won an Academy Award for it. Bryan Singer did not win an Academy Award for it. He got Kevin Spacey an Academy Award, so that means he gets to bring
another good
young
guy
guys to meetings. Like, what are you talking about? What does that mean? And I've known for a long time, all industry people talk about that his directing style is, what if I didn't show up for work today? And again, it's like, how do you keep a job? I don't understand that.
Yeah, how did he get the sequel?
It's one of those things, he was considered this hotshot director after Usual Suspects. And
a wonderkind.
Due to the
prodigy.
Yeah, due to the culture in Hollywood at that time, it was just like, oh yeah, he's eccentric, whatever. We'll let him kind of do his thing. And we've seen that over the years with different people. I remember like the Fantastic Four movie, Josh Trank, and how weird stuff was going on with that set. So I don't know why this is allowed, and why. I mean, Bryan Singer was attached to this series for so long. I mean, he directed X2. He came back for Days of Future Past.
He comes back.
Yeah, they eventually had to kick him off because all the stuff started coming out about him, and he got canceled. And so they're like, no, you can't make Apocalypse. Like, we're kicking you off.
Fine, I'm going to Israel.
It took 4 movies for him to kick him out. Yeah, Jesus.
Crazy.
So we hate him. We hate him.
Yeah.
But we have to put up with his
guy.
existence for this series, unfortunately.
It's just crazy how many of these figures were in this industry for so long, with Joss Whedon, this guy, I mean, Kevin Spacey, like, obviously the list goes on and on. And it's just, Weinstein. I mean, a lot of just bad motherfuckers.
Maybe I'm not nostalgic for that era as much as I think I am. You know, in hindsight, maybe the rose-colored glasses are on, because a lot of bad shit happened in Hollywood.
Again,
well, it's just unfortunate that
the power.
This stuff was
we lost it all. Yeah. Oh my God.
We lost it all.
So I just wanted to mention, the what was going on set, which is crazy too.
That context is important. Bad stuff kind of going on during the production. Delays. They were like running late all the time, and he's not a special effects director too, which kind of leans into some of why the action scenes aren't super crazy, because he was like visiting Titanic and like some other
Phantom
shit.
Menace.
Phantom Menace. He visited to like learn about how that shit works.
Yeah. CGI effects were changing so fast at this time that like things were becoming possible with Phantom Menace. Whatever you think about the prequels, like really moved the bar forward with computer generated effects, and so that was starting to change things. But yeah, there are some effects that don't look great even today, like have not aged well in this movie.
Right. So what we praise about this movie are the performances, the cast, the kind of that stuff. Fuck Bryan Singer, and outside of that, I do find this movie very charming. Yeah.
Yes.
On its own merit. Yeah.
But let's jump into the plot, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
We're back. You heard it up top. We're talking X-Men 2000, the 2000 film, the first film. We're diving in. We're talking the plot. Now, as we kind of hinted, it starts with some heavy stuff, and that it sets up our favorite character, Magneto. This film starts with a fucking Holocaust.
Yeah.
Insane opening. Like, I love this opening, though. It's such a big swing, and if David Hayter wrote that, yo, dude, get your Saturn Award. What an incredible open to this to set up Eric Lenscher. Yeah.
Very cool. And now, Colin, as our X-Men expert, is this part of Magneto's lore in the comics that he was a Holocaust survivor and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's why he's so against the
Um,
mutant registry, and like that's his whole thing. Like, I don't want
yeah,
to. We shouldn't be putting identification
Now,
on
uh,
right.
group.
we did so much setup at the up top, but to talk just a second, I mean, we've done so many episodes on X-Men, quote unquote, but of the comics,
Mm-hmm.
of course, Stan Lee, written by Stan Lee, drawn by Jack Kirby, the sort of
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
two heads of Marvel. Stan
Chris
Lee,
Claremont involved very heavily in X-Men over the years.
takes over, basically revamps them and makes them what they are, gives us Wolverine characters like that. But Stan Lee, aka Stan Lee Lieberman, obviously a Jewish man, a Jewish writer, put a ton of Holocaust, a ton of experiences into most of his characters, but a lot, as we said, social justice wise and social theme wise into the X-Men. And specifically, the first meeting between Xavier and Eric Lensher in the comic books is in Israel doing rehab for survivors of the Holocaust.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this opening kind of does such a good job of explaining his point of view, his worldview, and like they're taking his parents away, the Nazis, and he's like heartbroken. This kid is performing his ass off and bending the gates with his powers. It's like, what a great, like, well written establishing of this character. Like, that's the price of admission right there. Like, that's crazy. It's one of the craziest openings to any movie ever. Like, respect for this.
It's really grounding it in realism in the world. And of course the LGBT allegory of it all is very important with this movie too. And that's something
Right.
that drew Bryan Singer to this project, unfortunately. But Ian McKellen,
Yeah.
a gay man who is very involved in LGBT activism and stuff, was drawn to this role because of that aspect of it. So it's very possible he wouldn't have taken the role without that aspect of it.
The kind of social justice aspect, the anti-oppression aspects were what drew him to like signing on, because otherwise,
Yeah.
like, what's this comic book movie? But those themes, and that's I think what these movies do well, is hitting that.
I think
stuff,
that's why
so.
people love the X-Men, because it's like it's sort of they're this othered group that is just fighting for equal rights essentially. And you have these two ways of going about it, peaceful or less peaceful, right? And so that's what's so interesting about the X-Men.
And you understand this is why Magneto is going to go about it the less peaceful way. No slaves, no masters. And then, Xavier grew up wealthy. Like he had an easy life. He had a different perspective completely.
Their backgrounds, you can see what led them to these different perspectives. And you have this. So Jean Grey is addressing the Senate, right? And you see the first sort of interaction with Magneto and Professor X in this moment, where he's sort of leaving. Another iconic moment where he puts his little hat on and walks out. Magneto in this movie is just has the aura to.
See his Holocaust survivor tattoos to indicate that he is the young man in the opening shot.
Yes.
Yep. And the big thing that's kind of central to the plot is the Senate is considering doing a mutant registration act where all the mutants will have to be identified, put in a registry, a whole thing. And obviously Magneto's against this. Jean Grey is trying to say, hey, not all mutants are bad. We don't need to do this. So the conflicting approaches is established here. So Magneto's going to go do what Magneto's got to do to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's kind of what thrusts us into action.
The, just to get like super hot button political real quick. Like, obviously the dichotomy that makes Magneto so fascinating is he survived a genocide. He says, of course, never again, as the famous phrase to come out of the Holocaust was.
Right.
And himself is interested in committing a genocide. He wants to wipe out what he considers an inferior people, humans, versus what he calls homo superior mutant beings. And that is what sets up his brotherhood. He's a mutant supremacist. It's a beautiful way to put it. But his ideology versus Charles Xavier's, which is a much weaker one. Now, obviously now you can look at this film through the lens of what I had as a young person, where I was like, that's crazy. That somebody who could survive the Holocaust would want to commit another Holocaust. Where now we're in these times where I mean, the lesson has always been there. If you guys are familiar with Art Spiegelman's Mouse, the one of the
Yes.
most famous and totemic comic books to ever
I
come
have it on
out
my
of,
bookshelf up here. Yeah.
God bless, but a work primarily about the Holocaust, surviving the Holocaust. I've always found a very crazy moment in that book when the author of that book, in his self-insert, talks about how after surviving the Holocaust,
Talking to
his
his
father
dad. Yeah.
his dad would
I know what you're
refuse
talking
to pick
about.
up black men, yes, because he
Yeah.
was like still racist or whatever. And there was this, he wanted to portray this thing of like, you can survive these tragedies and hate can still fester in your heart. It doesn't inherently make you like a wonderful person. And I talk
Yeah.
about this now because the situation that's happening in the world is
Yes.
so touchy and so fucking insane. And literally we mentioned Israel and that the director of this film fled to go there to like, find like safe
Ratner.
harbor from like his both Dog Bryan Singer
Yeah.
and Brett Ratner have both now fled
Live in
to
Israel. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just
That
like
seems to be where all the
that
sex
is this
pests
place,
fleet to.
but
for
that
some
is
reason.
a sanctuary now for evil. You do not want to generalize or whatever, but it is just it. We live in just such a crazy world, and it's just so weird to see it so mirrored now, as it's always been.
Well,
I guess.
Yeah.
And Colin, I'll
Yeah.
even give you one more about. So obviously,
Please.
what's going on with Israel right now?
Yeah.
Genosha has been compared to Israel many
Oh,
times
yeah.
as like it's the mutant
The
Israel, right? Where
mutant
it's where everyone,
nation.
yeah. And of course, never again to anyone, not just for Jews. And so you have Zionism, you have anti-Zionist Jews, you have Zionist Jews. So it's a very complicated issue to, obviously there's anti-Semitism is not good. But you can't conflate anti-Semitism with Zionism, like a government, a country's government versus
Right.
religion. I don't want to get into all this, but we're against genocide in general. Like genocide is bad no matter what.
Right. So the
I think-
idea, like Colin's saying, a character that survives a genocide is willing to perpetrate a genocide of their own. Like it can happen, unfortunately. And that is like Magneto does. He's like, yo, yeah, we're Homo superior. Like, Charles, we're the next step. Their time is over, dude. Like,
right.
yeah.
You just again have to just imagine how far away this felt in the 2000s. Though.
Yeah.
And Jacob, I was thinking about Genosha a lot because he says in this movie, like at one point, he says, "A nation for us, never." He says like something akin to that. And I was like, of course, because at this time, writers couldn't even conceptualize that the mutants would eventually have their own place, like that this is the natural thing, opposed to like, no, we need to wipe everybody out. Like it just,
And the island that Magneto and his gang are hanging out at in this movie is technically supposed to be Genosha, but we'll get Genosha in later movies, like a better Genosha.
Farm. We get some weird Genoshas, Mike. I can't wait for you to see one of them. It's so weird.
I was not aware of the concept of what Genosha was when I was a kid. I didn't even, that plot point didn't even hit my brain that like, oh, he's got his own little spot. So anyway.
Yeah, we'll get into it in the later movies like Dark Phoenix and stuff. But they put like basically I like Magneto as a character, but again, if he was real, I wouldn't necessarily fuck with his like worldview of like, yeah, we need to wipe out humanity.
No, I'm a humanity.
Superior, yeah. I'm definitely. We need to all get along, Charles Xavier.
Yes, yes.
The only cowardly position that these two characters take by not imitating the people that they're based on is that neither of them get assassinated. Like that, I would argue that at a certain point in comics history, one or both of them should have been assassinated
by the CIA or something.
Kind of hard to assassinate them though,
because
fucking
strong Captain
powers.
America with a fucking gun shooting Charles Xavier.
It's the Winter Soldier.
No. Yeah. Now, oh no, Mike.
I don't like it. That's why we don't like the Avengers.
Maybe Kevin Bacon.
Oh man, but that's good check. So Magneto ultimately, his big plan then is, all right, all these world leaders are coming to a big summit. So I have this machine that I can turn people into mutants, but it makes me really weak. So I need to find a way to use enough energy that I don't die turning these senators and diplomats into mutants, because if they're mutants, then they won't vote to fuck us over because they're one of us now. That's kind of his thinking.
Yes. And so to do that, he needs Rogue, which is sort of our audience insert character, where we're introduced to Rogue as a young woman who's sort of discovering her powers. Obviously, there's the iconic scene of her with her boyfriend and their first kiss, and putting him in a coma, almost killing him, and her running away from home, and then eventually meeting Logan
in Canada. She hitchhikes up to Canada. And I think the guy who drives the truck, maybe you had this in your quiz, Jacob, but I think he's the dude who did Beast's voice in the cartoon.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's one of the voice actors from the cartoon. But yeah, she goes up to Canada, meets Logan.
Yeah, and you get this iconic cage fighting scene, the introduction to Logan.
I forgot there was an octagon scene. It was very 2000.
Yeah. Now, I love the character Rogue. I'm sure you guys do too. As we all said, we like Gambit. How can you not like the cool female character on the team who's like sexy and like fun and says like, interesting things? Yeah. Now, as portrayed by Anna Paquin, who I will admit, I just do not fuck with. She is just not one of my actors. I don't really like the piano that much. Obviously, she's an Academy Award winner, one of the youngest in history.
Yes.
You know, truly incredible. But I have just never found the desire for her. I've said before, I've never seen True Blood either, so I just don't fuck with it. So
yeah,
Anna Paquin, yeah, she's whatever to me. This portrayal of Rogue, obviously very different from established Rogues, where she's older and more, you know,
she can fly.
She's supposed to be around the rest of the group. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, interesting choice.
Y'all a gooner?
Y'all download my gooner
skin. All right, now. Rogue, be cool now, Rogue. We're trying to talk about young Anna Paquin in this movie.
Rogue skin.
Rogue, right. Rogue, I'm gonna need you to relax now.
We're gonna get derailed.
So much money on you.
Yeah.
Just relax. Girl.
Kind of one of the most known things about her is her relationship with Gambit.
And she's hot.
Yeah.
This also, though, this version of Rogue, like she gets her first kiss. It's like there's also the metaphor of like puberty, like I'm getting my powers, and like I feel weird and like an outsider. Where do I fit in? And that's like another thing the X-Men kind of does. So we're getting that kind of perspective from her in this movie.
They decided to use her as sort of the audience character because her powers cause her to be more isolated than your average mutant because she can't physically touch anyone, right? So there's that isolation element.
Yeah.
And so she meets Logan at this bar in Canada. There's this whole standoff.
There's some mutant racists. She finds out that Logan's a mutant and then stows away in his
bar, you
truck.
Yeah.
And then
she stows away in his truck. It's sort of the reluctant father figure thing with Wolverine, where he's like, he's almost going to leave her on the road, then he stops and is like, well, I guess I can't.
He saves the cat real quick. He's actually a good guy. Yep. And then we get jumped by the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yes.
Hell yeah, we do. We get the great joke about him wearing a seatbelt. The second film does a much better job with the whole "have you tried not being a mutant" subplot. That you get the feeling of how much society kind of does understand about mutants, or there is some kind of growing prejudice. You know what I mean? Like obviously there's these hateful people in the bar, but this is kind of the first time where I watched this film where I put together that she's not drawn to Wolverine because he's the stronger fighter. She's drawn to him because she knows he is also a freak and that they can be on the run together. And their weird father-daughter relationship, it's the heart of this movie, them being these two weird outcasts.
Yeah. Which is such an interesting original thing for this film, because obviously Rogue and Wolverine do not have this relationship in most X-Men
Wolverine
media.
and Jubilee, Wolverine and Kitty Pryde, Wolverine and Kim Yukio. Like there are many characters he has mentored, his daughter, of course.
Yeah.
But Rogue is a super interesting angle for David Hayter to take it in.
Yeah. And I think the boyfriend was named Dave. That was maybe a shout out to him. He named him after himself.
Good for him.
Little joke. Anyway, but yeah,
so they're attacked by
Sabretooth
and Magneto's goons.
Not the greatest scuffle, but it's cozy.
Sabretooth in this movie is not the best. I mean, his look is okay, but obviously they're going to redo Sabretooth for the Wolverine spin-offs, which is much better, where they make him Logan's brother and all this
Liev
stuff.
Schreiber is my preferred
Schreiber,
Sabretooth. No shade to Tyler Mane, but the eyebrows are too much for me, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even really remember Tyler Mane as a wrestler. That's what he was, right?
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
WCW for a little bit.
He wasn't a
I
big
really don't
star, I
remember
don't
him.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of
Yeah.
like he looks like Triple H's slow brother.
That's Double
Yeah.
H.
Yeah, he
Looks like a big guy.
He looks like Double H, unfortunately.
He's Double H.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Hunter Hurst, how you doing over there, buddy?
Tyler Mane, more like Tyler's side, you know.
Yeah.
But not the
I would
greatest
say
fight.
like Magneto's goons in general, not the best. I mean, Mystique, I like
It's-
Mystique, but Toad and
it's-
Sabretooth.
It's a weird lineup for this movie, yeah.
Yeah.
It's who you want. It is the Brotherhood of Mutants. You have Mystique, you have Toad, you have Sabretooth. You want Blob, you want Emma Frost, you want like the other ones put in there. But like the issue is the look. Like the issue is Toad is the most 2000 looking person ever made. And
Mhm.
as Jacob said,
Darth Maul?
because of like the dark photography of this thing, he's shot in a way where you almost can't see his features, which is very strange for his greenness.
Yeah.
And then you have Sabretooth, who just looks stupid and
Yeah.
slow, like we said. Like he looks
a
like
big,
something's
strong
wrong
guy.
with him.
Yeah.
And then you have like, I guess what was the biggest gamble in like nerd ticket history was them being like,
For the Gooners. We got to
Becca
get the
Remain
Gooners.
Yo,
is
Becca Remain Stamos. At the
completely
time.
naked, of course, married to the Stamos, the Greek.
Now married to
himself.
Jerry O'Connell.
Now married to Jerry O'Connell. Now she, of course, is a bridge captain.
That's right.
She is wearing body paint. She's completely
Yes.
naked, or reported as completely naked for this role, which
Covered head
was,
to toe in paint, basically.
But
It took
if
9
you
hours
guys-
to do every time.
If
Yeah.
you guys remember Wizard Magazine, if you guys remember fucking Toy Fair, you know, like the nerd books you would be reading at the time, the covers, the articles that were like,
yeah.
Rebecca Romaine is naked in this movie. You can't tell, but the
Yeah.
general idea that her shape is
Right.
there was enough for people to go like, yes, thank you. I don't
It's
remember
essentially the same as wearing
Family
like
Guy-
a full leotard or something, right?
It's like
Spandex.
it's a layer over every part of you. Like you can't tell anything, but obviously again your shape. But it was so popular. Do you guys remember that there was a Family Guy where Lois dressed up as this version of Mystique? I mean, it was
Whoa.
incredibly sexualized. This
Yes.
this version of her.
Right.
Very early 2000s. The other thing with Mystique, of course, is that it's hard to reconcile this Mystique being the same Mystique as we get with Jennifer Lawrence in the later
That's the
movies.
thing.
I'm having my own Gooner revelation recently where I've decided that I'm
You love
completely in
Jennifer
love with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
And you just reminded me that she's a huge character going forward in these films.
She's a
that will be
huge
covering.
character.
I'm so excited. I'd argue
we'll
this is
get
her
into it.
other main franchise.
Oh,
is
yeah.
X-Men. Like that's
Hunger
so
Games
crazy.
and X-Men.
But the thing is, this Mystique is not the same character. This is not the adopted sister of Charles Xavier. It's just not. Like, she's not a
How
character
did
in the
she
same way.
not die when she's stabbed in the stomach? That's so crazy.
I don't know.
We got to, you know, sequels got to make that money. Sorry, Rebecca, back in the
Yeah.
chair. You know.
But she's just a much bigger part of the new cast when we get to that, in a much bigger, a more important part of the X-Men. We find out obviously she used to be
Why?
a good mutant. Now she's a bad
She
mutant.
named him. She named the X-Men.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And she's got this
I
whole
don't know
history
any
with
of this
Eric
lore.
and Charles. Okay. Well, get ready because she's, and I think it's because they cast Jennifer Lawrence. They're like, we have Jennifer Lawrence. We need to make her like the main character now, going forward. So get ready for those movies. But in this movie, she's basically just there to, one, look sexy, and two, turn into different people and like move the plot forward and do different things.
Yeah, and you know, does so effectively. And shout out to Rebecca Romaine, dude. 9 hours, like a
We
weird
love her.
comic book
Una
movie.
Chin
Like,
Riley.
yo, respect. Una Chin
Yeah, it
Riley.
took
Yeah.
9 hours in the makeup chair every time. By X2, they got it down to 6 hours. So just think about that.
Still, yeah. How much would you have to pay me to do that? But yeah. So they get jumped by Sabretooth, and then they get saved by the X-Men. We get a strike team of Storm and Cyclops. They show up, they do a little bit with their powers, they undo a seatbelt with a laser beam, and we're taking you back to the mansion. But, this was groundbreaking at the time. Like, oh shit, laser visor. It's sick, Concussive blast, sorry, but you know what I mean.
So Logan wakes up in the X compound and obviously is very confused, trying to get away, and then meets Charles Xavier. And that's sort of our moment of meeting the X-Men, right? Through Logan's eyes.
Have a nice day, Kitty.
Yes, we get
not the same Kitty Pryde that we'll know. Yeah.
Na.
Jubilee is also there
That's
in
gonna
a
be
cameo.
That's going to be a very interesting linguistical conversation for us to have. I just remembered that too. I'm remembering a lot of actors in this film. Yes,
yeah,
in this franchise. Yeah,
we love Elliot Page.
We love Elliot.
That's right. I forgot Elliot was in these. That's crazy.
Yeah. So basically, they're back at the X-Men mansion. We meet all of our X-Men. Logan's kind of like, I want to get the fuck out of here, but sticks around.
He's having PTSD. So Xavier's like, look, I'm a psychic. Like, give me 2 days, 48 hours, and I can like maybe help you figure out the past that you like forgot, So he's like, all right, I guess I'll stick around.
15. He's been going around for like 15 years. They say doesn't have a memory of who he was or where he came from.
His body heals spontaneously. In fact, Professor, he could be as old as you, but we wouldn't be able to tell. Is that right?
That's right. Yes. So I like getting the school established. So we see their little classrooms. Cyclops is like, I don't know, shooting clay pigeons or whatever. Like, it's a good intro to like that world. Like I said, it's Hogwarts for mutants. I like this little bit.
Meet Iceman, Sean Ashmore.
Hogwarts for mutants. How dare you, Mike?
Well,
Harry Potter is
Hogwarts is mutants.
The X Mansion
for wizards.
Magic.
I'm saying that's how it feels, though. Like, I feel like I want to go there, but yes, Hogwarts is the reverse.
So we meet our core cast. We have this moment where Logan, gets his own room and everything, and then in the middle of the night, Rogue is trying to wake him up or something, and he accidentally stabs her, right? Because he's having some kind of nightmare.
PTSD.
Then Rogue basically uses her power to get his power to regenerate so she doesn't die. So there's that whole scene, which I totally forgot about. Then what else?
Well, so basically, she's made friends with Iceman, and then at this point, Mystique has snuck in and is pretending to be Iceman and says, you know what? The professor kind of fucking hates you. You're so stupid. You should get out of here. Everybody hates you. I hate you.
Bitch.
Basically. So he makes her feel real bad to where she runs away from the X-Mansion and then they have to go look for her.
Can I ask you something? If you're here to get me to get kidnapped by Magneto, why don't you just kidnap me while you're sitting next to me?
Well, she did have to sabotage
psychological warfare, bitch.
It's more villainous. Yeah, I guess she did have to sabotage Cerebro too. She does go down there and do something with the wires.
That's true.
Yeah,
she plugs in a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Well, they use Professor X uses Cerebro to locate Rogue, right, when she runs away. And then Logan goes after her.
She's at the train station, but it's doesn't it fry his brain in this one, or did I miss that part? I thought Cerebro fucked him up. So
it
does.
No, because she plugs in the black water thing into Cerebro, and then when he puts it on to find Rogue, and they're at the train station or whatever, they're like,
"That's right." And Logan's like, "Well, I found her the old-fashioned way. I just
by looking
or whatever."
Yeah, that's how you're gonna find her.
And then Cyclops is like, "Where's my motorcycle?" Right?
Oh,
he steals his motorcycle.
That's a good running bit. He had his own motorcycle in his trailer, but they didn't recover that when they brought him to the mansion. Right. So he's owed one.
we skipped over it, but the coolest scene in the fucking movie is when Jean and Xavier are possessing Sabretooth and
Yo.
Toad.
No, that's
And
happening
they shoot
now,
the
right?
gun and Magneto's. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what they go to right now. Yeah.
In the Penn Station or whatever that the train station is.
Yeah, that is
where they're
sick,
trying
though.
to kidnap Rogue. Yeah, and then the X-Men show up.
We get a punch
and
up.
Professor Xavier
Cyclops shoots a hole
takes
in the
over Sabretooth.
ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a sick scene too, yeah, because at a certain point the X-Men lose the upper hand. They get Rogue, and then they're holding all the cops hostage. Magneto has the guns floating in the
Homo
air in front of them.
sapiens in your
Super
guns.
sick. And then, like,
I
Colin
can
said-
hold one. I don't know about all of them, Charles.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Colin was saying, where he takes over Sabretooth, he grabs him by the throat, and I was like, wait a minute, why is Sabretooth having a face turn? I
Release me.
forgot about this completely, and I was like, oh shit, it's Charles.
Knock it off, Eric. Yeah, knock it off. Toad has like a weird voice for like a
Yeah.
second. You're like,
We also didn't mention Magneto kidnaps Senator Kelly, the anti-mutant
Correct.
senator, and turns him into a mutant with this device, which is the device that he's going to use on all the world leaders on Ellis Island. And so he tested on Senator Kelly, turning him into some kind of water blob monster.
Turns him into Mitch McConnell.
And
but it works.
the senator
so it's a successful
escapes.
test. And he escapes.
Yeah, and he escapes, and he goes to the X-Men mansion, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I understand now. Blah blah blah. Help me." And then eventually dies because he turns into a bunch of water, which I never understood when I watched this movie. Why does he all of a sudden just like dissolve into water at one point?
I mean,
But-
Jean Grey says, it's an unnatural mutation. His body's rejecting it. So I guess it's just unstable. And it just kind of, that's what I assumed. But yeah, it's
it diffuses. Yeah.
cool effect though. But,
Yeah.
But yeah. So they end up getting Rogue, and because Charles doesn't want every cop to die, that they escape with Rogue.
He has to release.
And yep.
Still
That's
unwilling
sort of
to
the
make
twist.
the real sacrifice, Charles.
Charles?
Right. And again,
You
that's sort of the
get
twist of the
paid by
movie
the
is that
Charles.
Yeah.
is that you think that he wants Wolverine, but really he wants Rogue.
Are you
because of the
made of
power.
metal?
Your whole
Fasten.
body has this strange metal inside of it.
I did like in the cage fight, you hear metal on the impact when he's punching the other guy. I don't know if they do it for the rest of the movie, but it's like a little sound design hint. I'm like, ooh,
Cool.
nice.
Yeah.
And I like that they
Adamantium.
established that Magneto is like a huge threat. Like, oh shit, Wolverine, he was so cool. Completely useless in a Magneto situation, which that's how it's
Right.
always been.
He-
But, they set it up well.
He hard counters Wolverine, you might say.
He hard counters him, yeah. Correct.
Well,
Uh,
one's a tank, one's a duelist. So
Yeah, actually in Marvel Rivals, Wolverine counters Magneto because he's a
he
tank buster.
devours him. Yeah.
Yeah, in the comics, zero chance. Yeah, because the Master of Metal, you're cooked, Wolverine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
now they got
take
Rogue.
Rogue back to Genosha, where they go to the Statue of Liberty on Ellis Island, where this whole thing is going to go down. They're setting up their big machine there.
No.
No. And he's going to inflict it on all the world leaders when they have this big summit meeting that they're having. So they're setting up for that, and the X-Men put on their leather outfits. They get in the X-Jet.
Well, so
Which,
this is
iconic.
when he says, "Well,
Well,
this is what he
Would
says."
you rather yellow spandex?
Xavier gets sick. Jean Grey uses the machine because she's pressured by Logan. They're at the Statue of Liberty. Okay, let's go. What? Are you going to take a bus or something? Ha! You think we only have like cars and shit? Ba-da-da-da-da-da. They've got the jet. They say the line about the yellow spandex. And now we've got the X-Men for the first time in the movie, right?
Yeah, we got our
Yes.
quartet, but under the basketball court.
And
I love
how do you
that.
guys
Like, it's
feel about-
classic.
How do you guys feel about the costumes and the black leather?
Oh,
of it
they're
all?
dog shit. They're truly horrible. They could
Yeah.
not be like lower quality, honestly.
Really?
They look like Halloween costumes.
Well, I think it's if you did the classic look, would audiences have accepted it at the time, or would they have been like, "This is too like goofy and colorful"
Oh,
or whatever?
absolutely not.
But we
Yeah.
accepted it with Spider-Man, so I don't know. I think they're just of the time. I don't hate them. I don't have like beef. I think they're just whatever. But they're thinking of Speed Racer and how Racer X had that X logo over his full black suit. That was a much better kind of version of that idea. He kind of had Cyclops vibes.
Yeah. They could have had more color to them, and like again, very inspired by the Matrix. Yeah. So they go on. They take the X-Jet to the Statue of Liberty. They have some fights with Toad and Mystique and etc.
I do want to mention, I do like they're in the X-Jet, but they're doing X-Men shit. Like they're flying down there, and then he's like, "Storm, a little cover," and she brings in a fog thing, and like it's just little uses of their powers that I think is neat. So I like that.
Halle Berry only has like 3 lines in this movie, and we passed the one where she says to like the guy turning into water, "Can I get you water?" She's like very strange.
I don't want to be alone.
She also has we'll talk about obviously her most iconic one, but she has the funniest line in this movie, Mike, talking about her powers later when Cyclops like, "Storm, can you like use your wind to like fly me up to the top of the Statue of Liberty?" And she just turns to Cyclops and goes, "That's not how it works."
Yeah.
And it really made me laugh this time that she's like, almost like, that's not how my powers work. Like, why are you asking that?
Scott, you've known me for 15 years. What do you mean? Yeah.
This is like, what are you asking? You've never asked me to just like throw you up somewhere. It's like, I can't just like do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Halle Berry, Storm in this movie, not the best utilized. I do like her look though, with the white hair, the long white hair.
She looks the most iconic, and she has had an all black leather outfit before, so she actually looks pretty good. And
I mean, she is Halle Berry.
So,
I'm waiting for the haircut.
Yeah.
Miss me with that shit.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, I like her look in this one with the longer hair. But we get some fights. We get Mystique showing up, turning into Wolverine. We get double Wolverines.
Classic stuff.
When he cuts her claws off, is that like her
well, the fact that she can,
has she like, well, is it like fingernails almost that she's like making or something? That's like some.
This is why I don't understand Mystique's powers, because she can copy people, but then she has the ability to have claws come out of her hands because she copied Wolverine's look, but they're not actually adamantium.
That's David Hayter. We got questions for you.
Got some explaining to do.
What did you do? Yeah, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but I just got to be like, I don't know, movie, but it doesn't make sense.
She doesn't get the power of
a snake. Could she turn into Toad? Toad's powers are based on his physique. Does she?
But I don't think she gets the mutant power.
You shouldn't get the powers.
But if it's a physical based one, can she leap better just by the genetics of how his weird body is shaped or something?
In this universe, I believe that's how it would work, but I don't like that. She shouldn't be getting the powers, but maybe that's how she doesn't die, because she had healing factor a little bit from being Wolverine. I don't know. But I like this fight. It's like pretty basic, but it's just in the Statue of Liberty Museum, and it's just like, yeah, this is cute. This is fun.
Yeah. And they do the whole like, oh, which one is the bad one? Wait, don't shoot.
Right.
Then we get the Storm Toad, of course, the iconic line. What happens to a toad when it gets hit by lightning? Same thing that happens to everything else.
It's what makes it so bonkers is her not really having any other lines the whole time. It would be like if I was completely silent and I said like, "Do you know why the grasshoppers leap?" And people would just like, What did that guy just say? Like what are you talking? It's like, what do you mean? The one thing you said today was, "Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?"
And again, this is one of the few Joss Whedon inputs that were included in the movie. And he has also said after this movie came out that like she didn't say it with the inflection that it was supposed to be more of a tossed off line.
Like,
she said it too seriously.
He's like, the context is insane. He's like, it's not at all what I was trying to write.
Yeah, it was supposed to be just sort of a Buffy wisecrack, basically. But
I guess there was
again. I think it's more of a directing fault where like they weren't telling these people like how their characters were supposed to act really. So Halle Berry didn't really have anything to go off of.
And I guess in the Joss Whedon draft, there's like more stuff where Toad would show up and be like, hey Storm, you know what happens when blah 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 blah? Like he would be taunting her, and this was her like get back, but that's obviously not in this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, iconic.
Well, just real quick, Jacob, because you hinted
Yeah.
at it. What did Ray Park do? What's going on with Ray Park?
I
I'm
think-
just like completely unaware.
There was some controversy with Ray Park. I forget exactly what it was.
I saw that
it's
he
probably
had-
not as bad as
At one point, he was like posting essentially revenge porn of his wife going down on him on the social media, like some crazy, like he has these crazy blow ups on social
That is
media.
insane.
I think they're still
completely
together,
insane.
so that's even more insane.
Yeah.
But
I think he did get disinvited from some Star Wars thing that he was going to be a part of because of stuff that came out online. So he's semi-canceled, but maybe not as bad as some other people like Bryan Singer. So
add him
it's
to
a
the
scale of doing bad
it's a
things.
spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get our little fight in the museum, but we eventually lose. We get captured when we encounter Sabretooth and Magneto. And I like this when they're trapped up in the flame of the tower, right? The Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And he's like
Torch.
slaps everybody to the walls with metal. And this is very comic booky, where he puts Wolverine's claws to his chest and has Scott
let's put those
and
claws
Jean look at each other. And you better close your eyes. And like that's very comic booky. I love it. It's so like camp
Right.
too.
I really like that scene.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And like hit him with lightning inside a copper cone. You know, like a conductor.
Copper
Like,
conductor.
yeah, this is great.
Are you into it? I thought you lived in a school.
I thought you lived in a school. Hell yeah.
And this is why I love Magneto and like Ian McKellen just nailing this role and having so much aura every time.
It's so crazy now to be like, God, he looks so young in this.
Oh
He looks
yeah.
like
incredible. I mean,
he's
he's
so
an old man,
mobile.
obviously,
He
but-
looks but like the way he's dressed with the tucked in shirt, he
Incredible
looks
costume.
incredible in
He's
this.
got a
Yeah.
sexual energy to him.
Mhm.
I love him. And that's why I love Magneto in X-Men 97 because he's like this incredibly sexual older man energy. to
Dadnito.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he's aura farming this whole thing, like floating down from the ceiling in a T pose. Like, what a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've never I like the animated where he does like the force fields and has more like the electromagnetic powers. They've never done that on film. I'd like to see that at some point.
Oh yeah. That'd be good. So basically he's got Anna Paquin hooked up to the machine. They're stuck to the wall. Sabretooth is kind of guarding them. And he's like, look, Sabretooth, once I give her my power, I'm gonna be weak. So you gotta cover for me, dog. And at that point we get kind of a weak final fight where Wolverine punches himself off of he stabs himself to get off the wall, and then it's just like a 1v1 basically.
Yeah.
Well, they
You
do the cool. There's the line that I was criticizing where she's like, "That's not how my powers work," and Wolverine's like, "What if you blast it?" And Cyclops is like, "It's like a moving thing with a girl in it. What do you mean blast it? Like that will kill her." And Wolverine's like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay, let's do the throw idea, but you throw me. That way, if we miss, you can still blast it." And they're like, "Okay, let's do that." And Scott's like, and Jean, you use your powers to stabilize him. So they do a 4-person team motion as they like get him up there. Magneto's weakened. We get this final fight where Wolverine's trying to like strike him, but Magneto's kind of holding it. And Scott goes, "I've got the shot." And he just like clicks real quick and like blasts Magneto away. And Wolverine's "Fuck this machine." And the worst digital effect you've ever seen, like washes over them and then just sort
The
of like
electricity.
fizzles away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they break the machine, they stop it, they save the day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the moment where Jean Grey uses basically his glasses, right? Cyclops' glasses. They need to put his glasses back on him, so she uses her
To
powers
shoot Sabretooth, yeah.
bring his glasses back. She's like,
She
"Open your eyes when I
angles them,
say."
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Trust me,
great.
you know?
Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, ooh, you guys trust each other. Good. I like it. Simple.
Yeah. There's also the hints of a love triangle, of course, with Logan, Cyclops, and Jean Grey that'll be developed.
Stay away from my girl. My girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like James Marsden and Sonic and stuff, but yeah, the Cuckclops arc is not my favorite era for the
No, he's
character.
just
Doesn't last long.
Not that
let me
good in
tell
these
ya.
movies.
Yeah. But we save the day. We get the iconic, we're going to say that a lot, I guess, for these movies, with the plastic prison for Magneto. And we're back at
playing
school
chess.
and doing the chess scene, and then Logan's going to leave. And Rogue's like, but you're like kind of my dad now. I don't want you to leave. He's like, here's my dog tag. I'll come back for it. You know, so they share their moment.
Do you really?
Charles tells him like, oh, we found this like abandoned military complex near where you were discovered or whatever. Maybe you can find some clues there. So he's trying to go find more about his past.
That's right.
But he'll be back, bub.
Oh, we'll get the whole Wolverine backstory. We get the part in the Xavier Magneto final scene, which is one of my absolute favorite scenes in X-Men history, which is when Magneto says, do you really think the world's going to let you blah, 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 that you're going to be safe and all that stuff? And Xavier says, maybe not, but to those poor folks who would come and be prejudiced to us, may God have pity on their souls for them trying to break into my school, where he implies like, we have the power. We could end this. I understand your vision completely. You are the aggressor. It's more important that I can recognize how easy it would be to the aggressor, and that instead I am choosing peace. But if they come for us, we will defend ourselves.
Yeah. Self-defense.
Yeah. No, that's great.
And in this scene where they're playing chess with the plastic chess and whatever, apparently, so if you look at like the chessboard, how they're playing, it represents their different worldviews, where Magneto is more willing to sacrifice his pawns and stuff, where Charles protects his pieces.
I like that. I like stuff like that. And then I think we get a checkmate. You've won this time, Charles. Like, round one goes to you.
Yeah, he knocks the king down. Yeah.
Yep. And no post credits, because we weren't doing those.
Right, but we do see Mystique. We see Senator Kelly is a stunning reversal of his position on the mutant bill. And then freeze flame, you see her eyes. Yeah. So that's sort of a would probably be a post-credit scene now if this movie was made today, but instead it's just like one of the last scenes of the movie. Yeah,
that's our
we'll wrap
tease.
this up.
Yep,
Plot-wise,
that's the old X-Men. 2000.
That's X-Men. Well,
I think we got a test to
let's
take.
jump over for a little quiz, a little test.
All right. I'll figure out what you named it right after this.
Yeah.
We're back. We're here talking X-Men, the 2000 film. We're kind of wrapping things up, but we're stepping into the danger room for one last segment here.
I wish the danger room was in this movie or any of these movies. I think maybe it's in a later one.
But how iconic are those hallways in the basement?
Remember.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You see,
The
if
room.
you're gonna do Cerebro, you might as well do the danger room, right?
Yeah. The eye scanning room is super iconic to me.
Yeah.
But I guess this is Professor Jake Xavier's exam here at Mutant School.
All right.
You remember the rules. We're doing true, false. Mike, you can keep score.
Yes.
Or I can keep score.
I can keep score. It's okay.
But yeah, we're back at it with the quiz.
We do 1 for true, 2 for false, and we do a reveal phase. That's how we do it. If you're watching on YouTube, otherwise you just have to believe us. But we would never lie to you, listeners.
Shall we begin?
It has begun.
All right. So question number 1, Mortal Kombat tie-in here. We talked about Mortal Kombat last week. Paul W.S. Anderson was offered to direct this movie before Bryan Singer. True or false?
Locked in.
Locked in.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
I'm going to say true.
1.
That is true.
Okay.
Along with Robert Rodriguez, but they both turned it down.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Why?
I don't know.
Were either of them in a position to turn down any work?
Paul W. Considering how Mortal Kombat, that made a lot of money.
He had Mortal Kombat. He had what's that?
That's 98
horror movie.
They would be shooting this in
99.
Considering how his career.
Oh, he wanted to do Event Horizon instead. He wanted to do something R-rated. That's right. That was like a personal thing. He wanted to do that specifically.
That's cool.
I did read that.
I think he probably tried to cast Mila Jovovich as Jean Grey or something.
A Storm.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
no,
Storm.
can't be Storm. Like, why not?
That's
But that is true, and Robert Rodriguez as well. Next question. Patrick Stewart.
Antonio Banderas is Wolverine. Yes, go ahead.
funny.
Patrick Stewart was not familiar with the X-Men when he was offered this role. True or false?
I don't know,
Locked
but I'm
in.
locked in.
Lock it in. 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
No way.
I said 1. True.
That
I'd
is
say
true.
false.
When they offered him the role, he thought it was somehow tied to the X-Files. And so
You wanted me to star in the Sex Men. Gladly. No, Sir Patrick? Sir
So-
Patrick? No?
yeah, he
That's
thought
not
it was
it.
the X-Files. He thought, oh, some kind of sci-fi X-Files thing.
You say the
So they
Sex
sent him a bunch of
Files.
comics. They sent him a bunch of X-Men comics to do research on the role, and he said it's the most fun research he ever had for a role. And when he saw Professor Charles Xavier, he said, "What am I doing in this comic book?"
Wow.
No. You want me to play the bald
Okay.
man, don't you? I'm very sad about that.
Of course, he was always the first choice, and he was sort of a popular fan casting since the 90s as Professor X, because just look at him. He's a famous bald actor. Who else could have played this role better than him?
At that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And it's
No
funny
way.
to think about now. You have, like, with Lex Luthor, you have Nicholas Hoult, not a bald guy, of course. James McAvoy, not a bald actor.
Well, we'll see.
Don't you mean Beast?
We will. Beast.
That's right,
Nicholas
Beast.
Hoult, baby. James McAvoy. We will see his journey that, like, the hair has to be a thing. I almost wonder, is it tied to the character, Jacob? Like, when they reboot this character, is it a big deal that he's bald?
Huh.
I don't know, but the thing is, now you can have a haired actor play bald versus they're like, Patrick Stewart's
Yeah.
already bald. This works perfectly. We don't have to do any digital effects or anything.
Any actor who wants to get a hair transplant in Turkey will jump right on this role to shave their head, have an excuse, and say, "Oh, I don't know how it grew back thicker and richer."
Right.
After I
Right.
took that strange vacation after filming the role of Professor X in Apocalypse.
Right. Wasn't
But Patrick Stewart, famously a bald man since his 30s, probably.
right.
But became sort of a sex symbol as a bald man, which you really don't get nowadays because, everyone, you can get hair transplants and stuff.
Cowards.
But as Picard, of course, he was a bald
Cowards.
man.
Wasn't the bad guy in Deadpool vs. Wolverine or Bad Lady a clone of his and also bald?
Yeah.
So you have to
And
be
Scream.
bald. Yeah.
I think you do have to be bald,
It's a
but you don't
character
have to
thing.
be naturally bald. Yeah.
I mean, Tom Hardy literally played a clone of him in a movie, and Tom Hardy has admitted that he has a hair transplant. He
Yeah.
was a bald man. I mean, that is
Yeah.
just
Wow.
how society has changed. That it's just
Totally.
like you have to have hair now.
Joel McHale.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
Our
Next
our
question.
strongest warrior, Joel McHale.
The soup.
right.
The soup.
Next,
Pretty
Sidney
cool.
Prescott's husband. Next question.
Hmm.
Viggo Mortensen was the first choice for Logan, aka Wolverine. True or false?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked
Lock it
in.
3, 2, 1. Reveal.
False.
True.
It is false.
Dang.
Although he was considered, but not the first choice. Russell
Ah.
Crowe was Bryan Singer's first choice, but turned down the role. But Russell Crowe suggested his good friend, Hugh Jackman, the
Well-
sheep detective. Yeah.
Jacob, are any of your questions about the original actor to play Wolverine?
You mean the voice actor from the show?
The actual cast actor in this film.
No, I just know that Russell Crowe was the first choice. Glenn Danzig was also invited to
Oh,
audition.
geez.
Rock star Glenn Danzig, but turned
So
it down.
big trivia fact about this movie, of course, is this is one of those sliding doors, a la Viggo Mortensen, who of course had that guy from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, who
Stuart
I believe
Townsend.
was originally
You mean Queen of the
cast as,
Damned.
Oh.
Stuart Townsend, Mike.
And
yes,
Dougray
yeah.
Scott, are you talking about?
Now,
Colin?
Jacob, Dougray Scott was originally cast as Wolverine
Yes,
in this film, but instead had to star as the villain. And I believe we've
Mission
done an episode
Impossible
on
2. Yes.
Mission Impossible 2, where now, little known fact, that film was basically shot 3 times because Tom Cruise was having a mental breakdown while making that movie.
John Woo.
And they just kept
Mission
throwing
Impossible.
the script out and being like, we just have to start over. So Dougray Scott eventually was like, I'm not going to make it to the shoot. And they
Scheduling
hired
conflicts,
Hugh
that's right.
Jackman within like a week or something, right? And he had to come like right to set.
He was like a last minute addition because, yeah, you're right. Dougray Scott pulled out due to scheduling conflicts with Mission Impossible 2. Last minute, they're like, all right, this unknown actor, this Australian guy, Hugh Jackman. And that's why. So in the train scene, when he goes to find Rogue, his voice sounds different because that was an early scene they shot and he hadn't discovered the Wolverine character yet.
Hilarious.
And so he had sort of a higher pitched voice. And he actually said he struggled finding the character of Logan, and it took him several weeks, and he thought he was going to get fired because he wasn't doing a good job. So just think about how iconic he now is in the role.
Yeah.
Got sort of a slow start.
I guess they were like
Now,
3
I
weeks
still
into
believe-
shooting when he got there.
Yeah.
To this day, I think one of the variants in Deadpool and Wolverine should have been Dougray Scott.
That's
would've
a
been a
great
good callback.
idea. Yeah.
Or
They should have
Viggo
done all
Mortensen.
of them. Get Russell Crowe. Like, just rotate through that list.
Yeah.
No, but
Now, Viggo
instead we had
Mortensen
Henry
was-
Cavill.
Yeah.
Right. Henry Cavill. Viggo Mortensen was considered and was considering it, but then eventually did turn it down because he didn't want to sign on to something that would have multiple movies, which is funny that he later then
He'll never
signed
do
on to be
that.
Aragorn.
I think he made the right
Yeah.
choice.
Well, didn't you say, Jacob, specifically he never wanted to work with Ian McKellen? He said.
Yeah. But it's actually a good thing that Viggo Mortensen wasn't Wolverine because then we wouldn't have had the perfect Aragorn in Lord of the
Right.
Rings.
As Stuart Townsend.
Oh no, I
Right.
don't. I saw the screen test. Nobody likes
sliding
that.
doors.
Yeah.
Sliding doors.
Right place,
moment
right
there.
time.
I
Sometimes you're an
haven't.
assistant.
That's out there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So next question.
Yes.
This one I already answered in trivia, but Bryan Singer banned comics from the set. That is
Yep.
true. Kevin Feige would have to sneak them on the set. Very interesting to ban X-Men comics from your X-Men movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting choice there.
True.
Meanwhile, there are so many TMZ pictures of fucking Sam Raimi with his arm around Tobey Maguire pointing to issues of Spider-Man where he's like this, like he's so the
Right.
opposite.
And you can
spectrum.
tell because
So thank
Spider-Man
God.
is
Yeah.
such a more comic booky movie.
Yeah.
This movie's almost like doesn't want to admit that it's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
But next question. Gambit was originally going to appear with the main cast as part of the main cast.
I'm locked
True or
in.
false? Lock it in.
I'm locked in. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Reveal.
I'm on false. We're
No
unified.
way.
You both got it right. It is false.
All right.
I'm just
Moving
thinking
on.
what twink Bryan Singer would have cast as fucking
Oh,
God.
Gambit, man. He went, what
2000?
Calvin Klein model that week? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another fun fact about Cyclops that I didn't put in the quiz, but
Mm.
his glasses are custom made Oakley's, and Oakley gave him like a lifetime supply of sunglasses. James,
Huh.
James Marsden?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo, all right.
So
okay.
James, send us some
That's
glasses if you
awesome.
got extra.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
by the
My
way, I just
favorite
watched
Cyclops.
that movie that Colin was talking about, Mike and Nick and Alice or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
James
Yeah.
Marsden. Still looking good. I mean, it's crazy
Still
like how
been
much
pretty-
he hasn't aged. Yeah.
Pretty funny in the movie, too. I really liked his performance.
Funny in the
Yeah.
movie, and of course we like him in Sonic, of course.
He's gotten
Um,
better. He
yeah,
he knows
what I
how
think.
to utilize what he has, and I guarantee he took like acting lessons and stuff.
Mm.
Like, no
Yeah.
shame, dude.
No, they got to
I
give
was just
him
amazed at how like he's like 53 now, but he looks great in that Mike and Nick and Alice movie.
they got to give him the Andrew Garfield No Way Home moment in Doomsday. Like they got to give him a sick Cyclops moment, which it looks like
gotta
based
give
on
him
the trailer we're gonna
Oh,
get
they
it.
will.
So
They will.
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
will. Yeah.
yeah, look forward
All
to
right,
that.
next question. Here's a tie-in with a movie called Michael. Michael Jackson campaigned to play Professor X in this movie. Michael Jackson.
All right,
True or
I'm locked in.
false?
Bald?
And
Unclear.
yeah, unclear. I'm ready.
But he campaigned very hard to be Professor X in this movie. True or false?
I'm locked in. I'm locked
Lock it in. 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Has
True.
to be.
Okay.
That is true.
Hell yeah.
He campaigned very hard to play Professor X. He was never seriously considered for the role.
Put it in the movie.
Right.
For some reason, he wanted to be Professor X.
I just really want to be one of the X-Men.
And another fun
Michael.
fact, his sister, Janet Jackson, was offered to play Storm in this movie.
I don't think I
but turned it
would love
down.
that.
Yeah.
She would have
Think
been.
about Janet
She would have been
Jackson
an
in
okay
2000.
Mystique, but she could not
Yeah.
have played Storm.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
This is pre-Nipplegate.
Yes. Wow. What an era we
That's
lived
what she's
through.
known for, ladies and gentlemen.
We're
Justin Timberlake.
we're in a dead heat, by the way.
Okay, tied. I do have a
Mhm.
tiebreaker. But next question, I've got two. Well, I've got one more question actually, because one of. Anyways, last question and then maybe a tiebreaker. Christina Ricci was originally cast as Rogue. True or false?
Ooh.
Christina Ricci.
I live and die
Lock
by
it
my
in.
answer here. I'm locked
Trudy.
in.
Lock it in. 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
I went false.
I'm going true.
That is false.
Oh, I got the split.
I wish I would have loved that. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have followed.
She
Speed
was
Racer?
considered among other actresses. Actually, Natalie Portman was offered
Right.
the role and turned it down.
We could have
Natalie
had two
Portman.
Phantom Menace actors in this thing.
Yeah.
She would have had something a little more. Anna Paquin she's just kind of zero. You know, she's just kind of like
I don't love Anna
zombified.
Paquin.
It's kind of the weakest
Yeah.
part of this thing outside of Bryan Singer. It is the
We
performance.
didn't mention
but,
she
like,
gets
I
her-
can't touch you.
She gets her
Okay,
iconic
yeah.
white hair from the explosion or whatever at the
I
end.
loved that as a kid.
That's true. I was like,
It meant so
Yeah.
much to me.
it's the only Han Solo's jacket that I actually like or whatever. Like, how did they get it? Yeah, this one's
I
fine.
kind of like it.
I kind of like it.
Oh, and so here's the last question. Actually, I have two more. Well, we'll see. But I wanted to do this. How many actors in this movie were Oscar nominees or winners? And can you get the amount and name them?
Oh, wow.
Obviously, you mean now, not at the time.
Yes. Future ones also count, but yeah. Out of all
So
the
this
cast
is,
members,
we're just throwing out a number. So obviously, whenever you've got one, Mike.
Yeah.
think
Let me
about it.
think.
throw out a number.
Nominees.
Nominees
Okay.
or winners count out of the whole cast of this movie. I did this with Pirates of the Caribbean, so I thought it would be a fun question.
I'm going to land on...
This was my sort of tiebreaker, but this could just be extra credit.
I'm going to say 6. Do you have a number, Colin? I don't
6?
want to say names yet. I'm going to land on 6.
That's crazy high. I'm gonna say 3, and I'll list, and then you can do yours, Mike.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Halle Berry, Anna Paquin, and then in this film,
I'll say
know
neither
Ian
of you
I
have the
don't know.
exact number. I'll tell you the
Okay.
I'm gonna say
exact number.
2. Yeah, and the 2 that I listed. Mike, list your.
Interesting.
Hold on, Mike. List your.
It's-
List
I
your
can do my
people.
list. I also had
6
Anna
is-
Paquin, Halle Berry. I figured Ian McKellen, surely. Patrick Stewart, probably. He's a good actor. And then I'm thinking Rebecca Romaine, maybe somewhere along the way. And my 6 is Hugh Jackman for like The Greatest Showman or some bullshit.
Mike, you think
So-
Rebecca Romaine is known for her talents as an actress?
Unfortunately, Rebecca May never nominated for an Oscar. But I'll tell you. So neither of you got the exact number, but you're in between.
Hmm.
Colin, you were closer, but not by Price is Right rules. But the answer is 4. The Patrick Stewart is a red herring because Patrick Stewart has never been nominated for an Academy Award. Because
wow.
think about it, he's a great actor, but mostly known for stage, for Star Trek. He's never had that movie role that would have been nominated.
How you know that's
which
true.
is interesting because what would he have been nominated for? You know, what I mean?
Nemesis.
Was Ian McKellen? Yeah, right. Was Ian McKellen nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Gandalf?
I
dog,
don't know
that would have to
for
be.
Gandalf, but Ian McKellen is one of them, and he's been nominated twice. I think for Gods and Monsters.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Let me check here.
Yeah, I could buy that.
Shout out to Brendan Fraser, the mummy himself.
Right.
Except that's a Frankenstein movie.
Like running it back.
Friggin' Frankie.
And for Gods and Monsters and for Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yep, best supporting.
So twice nominated. So the answer is 4, and the people are Halle Berry, Monsters Ball, famously first and only African American woman who won Best Actress to this day. 2 is Anna Paquin, who won at 11 years old for The Piano, youngest at the time, I think, to win for Best Supporting Actress. Then you have Hugh Jackman and Ian McKellen. Now, Hugh Jackman, for what role? I don't think it was actually The Greatest Showman. It was Les Mis. Yes, it was Les Mis.
Duh.
Yeah. He wins Best Actor for that. Obviously, I remembered Anne Hathaway, but I nominated. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about Ian McKellen
with his good buddy Russell Crowe? So Ian McKellen, Gods and Monsters, and
that's right.
Lord of the Rings. So those are the 4. Patrick Stewart never nominated, and he's got to be one of the best actors. I was saying John Goodman, one of the best actors, never been nominated.
Right.
Is it true? Tatum O'Neal, youngest actress for
Paper Moon.
For Paper Moon, and then Anna Paquin, second youngest.
That's right. Yeah,
second youngest person ever. Yeah.
Paper Moon, great movie. Tatum O'Neal and her father, Ryan O'Neal, Peter Bogdanovich.
Great guy. Good guy. Awesome guy.
Ray Park never nominated. Tyler Mane never nominated.
Jacob, will you look up Sean Ashmore?
Yeah,
Will you do me a favor? Will you look up Lamplighter? How about Lamplighter, Jacob?
So
James Marsden, unfortunately, Sonic, no nominations for Sonic. Famke Janssen, no. Yeah.
There's a scene when Mystique is being Iceman, and then there's 2 Iceman in the scene, and Sean Ashmore has a twin brother, but they didn't use him. I think
that's right. An
really
identical
rude.
twin brother.
I think that's really rude.
Why didn't they use him?
Aaron
I don't
Ashmore.
know. Yeah. Sean just didn't invite him. He's like, no, I want that money.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, awkward Thanksgiving, I guess.
You were an Animorph.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
which one?
He played Jake in Animorph.
Jake. Oh, it was Jake, Jacob.
Have
I recently been looking on eBay for Animorphs Transformer toys? Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, of course.
Huge Animorph fan as a kid. So
of this era.
Me about K.A. Applegate.
I was a big Tobias guy. He gets stuck as a bird, though.
Love Tobias. Look, we love them all. Rachel, Marco.
Did I specifically think, Mike, should I buy this Tobias action figure and send it to my brother to keep on his desk as a grim reminder of what happens if you fly too close to the sun?
3 hours, no
dark
more.
Stuff happens in those books.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
They're kind of like
we
the
gotta talk about
X-Men.
Animorphs at some point.
Yeah.
It's going to get rebooted. Netflix just optioned it. So
they're doing it.
We'll talk about it in like a year.
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, no. Animorphs, yeah.
Yes.
J.K. Rowling, no. K.A. Applegate. That's
right. That's right.
Woman who had to initialize
That's
her name to pretend to be a man. Yeah.
Transspeciest.
Yeah.
But that's my quiz.
Animal.
We'll cut
That
it
was
off
great,
there.
dog. Thank you for
nice
the
work.
Class, Dr. Jake Xavier.
Yes. Class dismissed.
As we're talking final thoughts here. I remember distinctly sitting in the audience of this film as a child and saying to myself, wow, I'm seeing an X-Men film. I live in the best time ever. Like my
Yeah.
dad has loved these comics since the 60s. He's never seen an X-Men film. He's never seen them on screen. He got Lou Ferrigno once a week doing the craziest stuff you've ever seen on the
Right.
Hulk. And that's as close as he came to being like, there's my heroes. I
Yeah.
grew up, and for whatever reason, society was like, the stuff you like, we will mine for movies for the rest of your life. And the thing you'll be excited about in your 40s is new teenagers, I guess, playing the X-Men. And it's like, I guess I will. I don't know. Yeah.
Nerd culture became mainstream culture basically starting in the 2000s, starting with this movie that came out in the year 2000.
Or us. Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
specifically, it seems
Again,
like.
the context of comic book movies at the time, you had the Richard Donner Superman movies, you had Tim Burton's Batman, you had Joel Schumacher's Batman, of course, in the 90s. You had some random ones like Blade and Spawn, but it wasn't considered like its own genre at the time of like superhero movies, right?
No, it's just like some weird experiment.
Yeah. And X-Men obviously had never been done in movies before, but we had the animated show that we all grew up watching.
And specifically, we never had a successful Marvel. Like we had, like you said, had Superman. Blade was successful, but that's like a niche thing. This is a mainstream Marvel, like
yes,
brand that finally broke
obviously
out.
I'm the DC kid, so fuck Marvel. But no, but we had Batman and Superman, universally recognized characters, of course. The X-Men were a little bit more niche. But then the 1-2 punch of this movie and then Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, it's like, oh, Marvel is here. Spider-Man is now in movies, and it's the start of a new thing. And then,
Kevin
of course, we got
Feige's
the
like,
MCU. Yeah,
I have
Kevin
a
Feige.
plan. I need to buy a baseball cap.
So yeah, Kevin Feige getting his start on this movie and being like, this could go. We could do something with this. So I think my final thought about this movie is just that it's a good movie, not a great movie, not a great X-Men movie, but an important movie in the context of starting everything and kicking off this franchise. And leading into X2, I'm excited to talk about that next month and where it goes, where the story goes from there.
Yeah. And I didn't mention this yet, but another thing I appreciate about it is that it just starts in the middle of the universe. It's not really an origin story. It's just like the school exists, the mutants exist. This is how it is. Deal with it. We're going. We're telling this story now, and I appreciate that it just drops us into the world with a POV character essentially.
There is no scene where we see these two men fall out and the origin of their rivalry. They start with, we're on opposing sides. I mean, that's great.
They already know each other. They have an established relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just get a little bit of that exposition voiceover in the beginning. Evolution is the blah, 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 blah. And then we're off to the races. Iconic title scene with the DNA, you know. That's definitely early 2000s. Right. So.
When was Men in Black? Was that 98 or was that 2000? Because I remember them.
That was 90 something. Yeah, it was in the 90s.
They had like the
90s.
exact same sort of like a special effect has to be the title sequence.
97.
I remember as a kid being like, oh, whoa, there. Sure, that makes sense.
Spider-Man did it too. You know, like this was the thing to do for these kind of
Mm-hmm.
movies for a while.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, what was the final score of our quiz? Who won the quiz?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So the final score was Colin 4 and I had 7 trillion. No, I had 5. Because we had that one where Christina Ricci is
that's fair.
Made the difference. Yeah. So good game.
That's
GG's.
fair.
You know.
Yeah, we'll have to see next month.
I'm the Danger Room champion today. But next time, it could be
Next,
anything.
Scott, I'm very proud of you.
I'm not Scott. I'm not no fucking nerd.
Decided you're Scott again.
Hey, I ain't fucking Scott.
I'm the donut lord. How dare you? Yeah.
Well, that's X-Men. I'll just quickly mention what's next week, and that is. Let me scroll down. We're going back to the movie theaters. It's a big one, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first theatrical Star Wars movie in many years. It's The Mandalorian and the Grogu.
Basically, couldn't care less about this movie, but I've never been more jealous that Mike went to a Burger King.
Yeah, I got I betrayed myself. I'll bring that for the show next week. Tune into the YouTube and I'll show you
got
my
some
Mike,
merch.
instead of having it his way, had it the way. This is the way, and got it his.
Yes.
This is the way.
Your way
Yeah,
is the
I
way.
have a tie-in
Yeah.
news too, which I'll reveal next week, perhaps,
Wow.
about the Mando and the Grogu.
You adopted a little son named Grogu.
Here's my little Grogu.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
No, I
he's
guess
50 years old.
I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to discussing it afterwards, probably laughing about it with you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess.
I got to spend money on that.
Every
Yep.
trailer I see, I'm like, are they AIing Sigourney Weaver's voiceover? Like, at a certain point, she says the plot where she's like, look, let me lay it out for you. This is the plot. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, that can't be a real line in the movie.
I did
Oh,
see,
yeah.
a scene with her and Pedro that was released. That I was going to share with you guys in the chat. That was like the most phoned in Pedro Pascal line readings I've ever heard. Where he's like, "Oh, okay,
Oh.
I gotta go find this guy."
Wow.
Okay, whatever.
Really? That's the mission,
Man.
if you
Yeah.
say so.
So we'll see. But that's next
What
week.
the fuck is this garbage?
I'm not predicting it to do well.
But our lineup for the next 3 weeks, we got some new stuff. We got Mando and Grogu.
Yep.
We've got The Boys season 5 coming to a close here. One more episode to go.
Another
next
X-Men
week.
kind of
Wow.
thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we've got Masters of the Universe, another new movie coming out that we're probably more excited for, I would assume, than The Mandalorian.
I just wish
So
they
that's
would
the next 3
recast
weeks.
Jared Leto. It's a voice. You could do it now. You could fire him and re-record it with literally anybody.
Do you
But, you know.
put your money on the line right now?
Mm.
Do you think Mortal Kombat or He-Man will be better?
I think He-Man will be better. Which one will make more money? I hope He-Man.
Yeah, what's the real question
Or
here?
I
not.
don't think He-Man at all. I don't think He-Man.
Does it?
Yeah, I saw projections that He-Man's supposed to make like $20 million or
Holy
something
fuck.
like that.
20
Like,
million
it's like-
opening
Yes,
weekend?
and everybody in the He-Man subreddit was like, "That's fucking impossible! Like, I can make $20 million. What are you
Yeah.
talking?" Everybody's like so in doomsday mode right now that I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Markiplier
seeing
made
ads
20
for it,
million.
I don't know. Is Mando and Grogu going to make money? I don't know.
It'll make
We'll
money
find
because
out.
of the babysitting
I don't
aspect, but it will not be good. That's what I'm saying. It'll have poor word of mouth and bad
I
second
mean, yeah,
weekend.
I'm not expecting it to be good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
We'll have to
Well,
see.
we'll find out next. Tune in next week when your hosts.
We're seeing a Disney Channel original movie in theaters next week. Like that,
Oh
we're
my
seeing
God.
a Disney Plus streaming original, basically. Like it's such garbage.
And
Yeah.
God.
truly, the quality of everything once Disney has acquired it has dipped significantly. And it's like X-Men, they're going to do that.
Hey, we
like
still got Andor.
mm,
Can't
barely.
forget we got Andor.
All right.
All
Oh, I
right.
thought
well,
you
that's
said
excellent.
Pandora, and that's why I
Pandora.
nodded.
Pandora,
Don't forget, we got
yeah.
Pandora. I was like,
We have Andor, that
He
show
is
that
right.
you refuse
right.
to watch. That's the best thing
It's the
that
best thing.
Star Wars
we'll
has
talk
ever
about it
done.
next week.
It's the best thing since Revenge of the Sith, but we'll talk about it next week.
What's better than Revenge of the Sith?
We have been your
Um,
hosts.
hot take.
This has been our time with our X genes activated. We've been talking about X-Men, the 2000 film. This is our new long form series that we're going to be going through. So please follow along. The
We
next
hope you
month,
are
be one
enjoying
episode
it.
a month. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. And it's going to be a
Um,
Rate,
fun
review,
look back
subscribe.
at the history of X-Men and the history of comic book movies.
Hell yeah.
How they led to today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And,
check us out on YouTube.
Yeah. Check us out on YouTube. We have been your hosts. This is the Colverine. Snicked, snicked.
Mike Steek, or am I?
Wow.
And this is Zap Zap. Jake Lops.
Wow. Zap,
Oh.
zap.
Wow.
You know his famous catchphrase, Zap Zap?
Hey, Gene, zap, zap.
Zap zap when I tell you.
All right.
Open your eyes and zap zap. All right.
God,
Catch you later,
oh,
normies.
Scott, zap, zap me.
To me, my
Zap, zap.
normies.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.